Okay, fair warning for this entire recording. I'm gonna sound like death. Here's your recap. I'll make Aste was given a to-go cup of Zorka berries, the top line, so go ahead and pause. And pause. There you go. Here's recap.
Hands-on with the kids since she came back from sleepaway camp, so.
Yeah, well, recording is begun then.
Okay. So we ended the last session rather abruptly with lightning strikes and power outages at Burris's house. We were in the middle of consuming Zorka berries and
Sorry about that.
teas. And Aste had very recently announced that he was having trouble determining how to get closer to you people.
Yes, Maya would have absolutely stood up and physically moved herself closer to him. It works like that.
Yep. It sure does.
He has no idea how to communicate with Maya ever. So, is there any additional morning breakfast conversation? I don't think Sarah was on the call at the time. So I don't know if Rasa had any input or role play to do during breakfast that morning.
No, I don't think so. I think she'd still be kind of pissy about, actually having to act her rank and all that crap.
You didn't get to watch the YouTube, so you may not know the food was delivered in the morning, the breakfast, as compliments from the kitchen, which doesn't usually happen, and someone in your party must have impressed someone in the kitchen.
Oh, I
in
figured
order
it was
to garner
Dad's tip or whatever it was.
That's what I thought it was.
What was it? Was it a combination of the tip and the baldy locks?
Or someone
You
was
don't know.
the zoomies. Anyways.
Yeah, Jessup did not elaborate. He just said you must have impressed someone in the kitchen. He did not say someone in the bar. He said someone in the kitchen.
Okay.
He didn't say someone in the restaurant. He said someone in the kitchen. Okay. So, breakfast is tasty. During breakfast, could I please have a wisdom saving throw from Snaps?
Oh, joy. I've never had a morning wisdom saving throw. That is a lot. 17 plus 8 for a total of 25.
Cool. And Dusk, may I have one from you, please?
Oh. $12 plus 9 is 21.
Okay. Alrighty. I gotta blow my nose. I'm muting myself.
That doesn't seem like the mute button.
She left entirely.
That doesn't seem like the mute button.
I meant to mute myself. Instead, I left.
Nice mute button.
Gregory, that stays in the recording.
Oh, of course. There's already some important stuff that's happened, so yeah, that has to stay in.
My mute button looks like a revolving door, so get over it. Okay. So, Breakfast is enjoyable. Lots of cheese, lots of zork berries, lots of pocket bacon. You name it, you got it. It's tasty. What are y'all gonna do today?
Stuff and things.
I feel like I should mention before we leave the room, I still have a dead body in my purse. If
Yo.
Oh,
Mm.
there
all the
was
way.
one more assassin.
Oh, an assassin, right? Oh, from
There was
Up in that,
one more of the 3 guys that attacked us. We sunk the other 2 in the swamp, but we kept one in case we wanted to ask more questions. I'm just throwing that out there if we want to ask the dead guy some questions in the privacy of the suite.
well,
Interesting thing to say at breakfast time. I have a dead body in my purse.
I mean, not that I'm
Working
expecting to walk into any sorts of ambushes at the art gallery later, but I mean, maybe that'll be a nighttime activity, right?
I was thinking that, well, I wanted to pick up some chocolate for Mrs. Scaros, but then I remembered if I put it in the bag of holding, there's a dead body in there, and it probably won't hurt it. I've got the dead body under gentle repose, so he's not rotting, but it still feels weird.
Yeah.
Maybe someone else can carry the chocolate.
It's a pocket dimension. It'll be fine.
It'll be fine. Okay.
It's
Or if
not
we
like
don't wanna
it's a
question
real
this guy.
purse where stuff rubs up against each other. It's in a pocket dimension.
Okay, it'll be dead people chocolate.
Dead people chocolate.
Dead people
Yep.
chocolate. Yes, quite.
Mm.
Oh boy.
I think Mrs. Scaros said that the chocolate place is near the cerulean view, so if we pass it maybe on the way to the gallery, maybe we'll stop and get some on the way.
Right. Now, do you think the gallery will let us have our stuff in, all of our, weapons, armor?
I don't know.
I mean, you all probably are fine, but I got this, heavy duty thing I wear.
I mean, it's about a 50-50. I would say worry about it when we get there, really.
I like that.
If they do, then you can just rely a little heavier on your casters to keep you safe. We got you.
Yeah, I feel comforted by the fact that last night, at least, I got some assurances from the Moon Maiden that we're not being followed, at least. So unlikely to see any more of those ambush that happened. That your dead body was from back in Ark.
Hard
I can't
glass.
remember. Ardglass. Oh, you can say it. Word. I can say words.
Was this something you guys were missing for?
This is you walked in on me shoving the bodies in the bag. That's the first impression that you got of Snaps. That's what she was doing in the alley when you met her.
Right, you arrived in the nick of time at the end of that whole ordeal.
Gotcha.
But it seems like we haven't had anybody chasing us since then. So at least I'm not worried about that, and I don't think it's not like we're walking into some sort of cave or underground tomb of some old wizard that's suddenly not dead anymore.
Are you trying to bring problems onto us?
That does sound like a good expedition.
It
The
would make
DM is quickly scribbling, needing ideas. Okay, I can do this. I can do this.
Like
The dead body crawls out of the bag and starts strangling Snaps. I'm blaming it on you.
I just have an active imagination. What can I say? But I say we go see what the hubbub is all about here while we're in civilized company for once, and maybe become a little more cultured in the process. Yeah.
I think you guys could all benefit from that idea.
Ooh, wow.
And myself probably as well.
I'd say I think you get to learn a lot more about our culture here. I mean, not that our culture. I'm still new to this place, but
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, I would learn a lot more about material plane.
we'll see what they consider art.
Yeah, that does tell a lot about our culture too. Yeah. Rambo.
Right, it's quite the high fancy university here, the school here. So, I'd say let's go see about the chocolate and let's get on the way. Grab our stuff on the way out, and maybe inquire about passage to Dybrook. Maybe there'd be some captains looking for work. Passage something part time.
Did we need to check in with what's his face about the globy thing, the jiggy thing?
Oh, in the day. So, later today we're supposed to check in on Wart Hurl. Which I'll do. Since I don't think I changed my spells, so I'll check in on our favorite Wart Hurl in due time.
This is your DM making an concerted effort not to drive the boat.
Well, I guess we can leave. We have finished
Which-
breakfast.
I'm in fig.
Oh yeah, Lady
we're
Russell.
we're all in agreement. Then what meeting we can go
To
ahead.
Dybrook.
We can lag.
All right. Fair enough.
A little bit, yeah.
Since Dusk had suggested maybe chartering a boat to get the rest of the way home. I don't know if you were here for that part.
Nope. I left right before the foggy snaps heart to heart.
Gotcha.
Well, okay. Well, then I belay that idea, and we'll make sure Wine Drinker and Jezebel have some extra, wheaties to eat.
I'm in no rush. We're good.
Right?
Let's go see the art and just enjoy. Just, yeah, whatever.
Easy breezy.
Art sounds good.
Art is better than
Let's go do an art.
facing family obligations.
An art.
Have we told you the whole story behind Lady Rasa, Asta?
No,
I feel like you gotta know before we go too much further. No, well, we'll cover that another day, maybe. But
okay.
There's a reason why we're not hoofing it back to Dybrook.
Oh, okay. I see.
But there's also a reason why you want to hoof it back to Dybrook too.
You see, there's a reason why we want to go, and they're clearly waiting for us because we are helpful people, usually.
As a grand group like yours tends to be.
But
I mean, I can take figure that Ross is somewhat important. She has kind of sharp features and eloquent nature. Even if she's showing it.
She certainly knows more about the ins and outs of fine dining than we do.
Well, like I said, I can figure some level of that from each of you. Understanding.
I'm just gonna lean over to Foggy and whisper in his ear, "Is he hitting on Rasa right now?"
I don't know him well enough to know.
Oh, that's not helpful.
I know it's not. I'm working on
How
it.
quiet is this whisper? I'm sorry.
I would like to know. We're going to roll some shit
Stage
here.
whisper.
So that would be Rasa's perception and I guess Mayev's
Deception?
Either deception or stealth.
Or sleight of hand or stealth. And you can have advantage because Foggy is also trying to be quiet with you. Or would that be disadvantage because Foggy is trying to be quiet with you?
I
Either
feel
way,
like it
my
would be
plus
disadvantage.
is a 1.
Yeah.
I rolled a 19, but my passive is a 20.
We're going with the 19.
Rasa absolutely hears this because if it's disadvantage, it's a 4. If it's advantage, it's a 10.
They don't whisper so good, Rasa.
Stage whispers.
I'm just curious exactly how quiet they were being, considering it's my app.
Not there.
But it's
Not quite enough for you.
Did stay roll perception on that?
I can. Give me a moment. Boom.
Natural one.
It's not very good. 12.
It's
Wait,
still
no.
better than
no,
her
never mind,
4.
never mind. That's a 19, not a 6. Fuck me.
There you go.
So 6
Oh, yeah,
plus
you heard the whispers, too.
19 plus 6 is 25.
Yeah.
I heard the shit out of that. I look over. And I'm just looking at the two as they speak, so they
Yep.
know.
Now knowing that we are being listened to, I'm then gonna continue to lean to my app and go, hey, just a reminder, you could totally have done that in my head so that we wouldn't be getting these awkward stares.
Oh yeah. I'm still learning.
You're still learning,
Just
it's
like-
fine. I just give a gentle pat on the shoulder. Even Snaps, who was distracted and I rolled a disadvantage, heard that shit. Yeah.
Yep.
That tracks.
Is Dusk the only one who didn't hear?
Dusk is like, what?
Huh? Why is everybody
Dusk
looking at
is
those
blowing spit bubbles.
I go back to look.
Why did it get really awkward here all of a sudden?
Oh, nothing. Just intrapersonal matters that apparently don't matter to the group.
What does
This
it
cheese
matter?
is delicious.
It's delicious.
I would tend to agree.
I like
It
strawberries.
I'm not following up on this.
Schnozberries.
That reference that I just made was specifically for Mom, and I hope she caught it.
I did.
Okay, good.
I did. It's a reference to some real life people in our lives who that's one of what the wife does when the husband is getting a little off track in social interactions. She just loudly announces, I like strawberries, to change the subject.
Perfect.
Actually,
All right, so we are doing things.
What?
Mr. Roboto, Donald.
That's gonna be stuck in my head for a month. Bastard.
I still didn't hear what Burris said.
Player has lost the plot a little bit and doesn't know what
Ah.
we're doing.
Okay.
Ah.
I think I am, as the DM, waiting for someone to tell me you all collect your things or leave behind your things and depart the hotel.
I believe we collect.
Oh,
I want to say we collect our things and head
Yeah,
to
we
that
should.
art
Yeah.
place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's all suit up. Let's go see Mr. Gowdy Snout.
Collector.
Snoot.
Gouty Snoot.
Get our stuff
Gouty
back.
Snoot, not Snout.
Snooty out? Is Gout and Snoot?
Boots and cats. Sorry.
It's kinda snooty. Get
Well
our stuff
done,
and our
Bundy.
things.
Oh! Gouty Snoot at the front desk, looking a little drowsy, not quite as alert as usual. Greets you and, oh, good morning, good morning. I understand the kitchen sent food up. How interesting. Did you enjoy whatever it is they sent?
We did. It was very good.
Very much
I'm
so.
sure they'll be pleased to hear. I will relay the message. And
Very
will you be checking out this morning, or will we enjoy your company one more night? Or longer? He sort of snaps in fear and looks at Rasa like he didn't mean to suggest you should leave.
Keep
Probably
the tab
stay for at
open
least one more
if you don't
night.
mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep the tab open and we'll see.
Lovely. I'll have them send up some clean linens for you, if that's all right.
Absolutely.
Right. We'll get that taken care of. Is there anything else I can do for you this morning?
Have you ever heard of a group called the Fates of Wanderers by any chance? Wanderers of Fate, I mean.
Jesus.
Fates
Fates of
Wanderers.
Wanderers. Wanderers of Fate.
And I look over to Dusk. I'm like, I haven't. Who's that?
You just sort of.
Sorry, sir. It's not a familiar turn of phrase. It's a name of a group, you say?
Yeah, I've heard
Like
of them.
a musical group,
Oh, right.
like Wandering
right.
Bards?
Wandering Bards, an a cappella group, something like that.
I'll
Make,
have to
like-
look into that because sometimes we do have musicians in the restaurant.
All right, very good.
Right.
And he just sort of lays a sly wink at Gouty Snoot.
Just nods.
A thumbs up.
I feel like
just turn.
internally, Foggy and Kurok look at each other and just shake their heads.
Because none of you were with Dusk when Dusk was trying to get Gouty Snoot to promise not to tell that you are here.
Yeah.
And I'm still confused as hell at who is
Yeah.
this group, even though.
Dusk will flash a look. I'm gonna see if I can find a GIF.
Well,
Looking
for a GIF. Oh, I meant to mute my mic there.
No, hold on. I'm gonna look. I was gonna flash a look to the group, but as soon as I find something that I feel like is appropriate.
Alright.
So, out of the cerulean view you go, without weapons or with weapons. You didn't ask him for your weapons.
Oh, yeah, we agreed we were going to
Oh,
take
yeah.
our stuff back, yeah.
I would have.
And Snaps would ask, Mr. Gouty Snoot, sir, can you point me to Broccoli's Chocolatier?
Oh, certainly, of course, out here on the main thoroughfare and obviously toward town because there's nothing further out of town from us. You're going to look for, I think, the 6th or 7th windowed shop on your way toward the gallery there. I think it's the 6th windowed shop. And he'll start, you each have to put your hand on the thingy and your weapons appear and he'll scoop them up and hand them over and hand you all your weapons. So where are you, aside from chocolate, what do you all have planned for the day? Is there, I don't know if you have any other questions about town or... Oh, you have to go to the gallery. Have you been to the gallery yet? You really need to see the gallery.
Speaking of the gallery, would they allow us to take our items with us, or would it be a better idea to leave those here?
Now that you mention it, I'm not certain. I know that they do have some restrictions. They are very, very focused on the safety and protection of their students there. I am not certain if they would allow weaponry in. I know they wouldn't allow it in campus, but I don't know whether it would be allowed in the gallery or not.
Okay. Well, I'm sure we can probably
I'd be
check
happy
it.
to keep your things safe here if you're going to the gallery. I'd be happy to keep them here. Or you can bring them back if it turns out to be an issue.
Yeah,
That's probably the
we'll
best
take our
call.
stuff.
Take our stuff with us, and if we get turned away at the door, it's 10 minutes back to put them away again.
And it may occur to one or more of you that the bag of holding would probably satisfy your needs for stowing
was thinking
them and
to
going
herself.
back into the gallery. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, out the door you go and onto the main street. And the smell of baked goods is heavy in the air. It's definitely a town of opulence and elegant things, and patisserie and bakery is on the top of the list. So there's going to be some fresh baked bread and fancy ass breakfast pies and pastries and things of that sort, wafting fragrances from all of the open shop doors and windows. Coffee is a very strong fragrance, passing the third and fourth door on the right there, or left. I guess it would be on your left. And eventually you will find a window that has a woman hunkered over shelves in the behind the glass window, lining up little silver and gold boxes with silver and gold ribbons on them in the window, and little glass plates in front of each box that have a little collection of candies or chocolates on the plate. Sort of your assumption would be that what's on the plate is what's inside that box. And she's just decorating her window with her wares, flashing quite a bit of bosom as she bends over, Chocolate shop.
Snaps is on a mission. She is going into the chocolate shop. Mrs. Scaros wanted chocolate. Snaps is checking that off the list. And Snaps,
My
I don't
head
think, has
is
probably
on
ever had
heels.
chocolate before.
Good morning, ma'am. Good morning. I'd love to help you. Give me just a moment. And she scurries from the window back behind her little glass countertop and puts her hands gently on the glass and says, "What can I help you with this morning? Do you know what you need? Do you need a sample?"
I need a box, Snaps says very confidently, because that's what Mrs. Scaros told her to bring her.
I see. Well, we do have several box options. Are you looking for a tasting of a variety of bonbons, or maybe something in particular that you would like a large quantity of?
A variety, I guess. And Snaps is looking at the boxes, and she points at not the biggest one, but like one of the larger than average ones.
Perhaps
What would that run me?
Well, this box here with 42 pieces is 38 gold. This box here has 28 pieces, and it is, and I'm sorry, I forgot to do the math to give you these numbers. So you got choices. You can go with 35 gold, 25 gold, 10 gold, and 5 gold. 5 gold is a very tiny box that only has 3 pieces in it.
If we were sent here, perhaps naming the person who sent us could get us the right box.
Does Aste say that?
I said.
Did Aste say that?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because
do
he
you know
figured
Mrs.
we wouldn't
Scaros
just
from Ireland?
randomly.
Sorry, I didn't hear what Aste said.
I was telling Snaps like he was walking in with her, and she was like looking over all the options, and it occurred to him what was happening, and he was like, "If we were sent here by someone, maybe directing through that name might get us the right option,
Oh,
so that we don't overspend."
that's pretty smart.
And so Snaps turns to the lady. Do you know Mrs. Scaros?
Oh, the name is terribly familiar. Let me go check my records. And she wanders off back into what you assume is the kitchen. And after a moment or two comes out and says, my goodness, you're referring to Jean's wife."
Yeah, you know Jean. She's so cool, isn't she?
Oh, my
I got
goodness,
a
have
special
I
treat for
have
her.
a package for you. Give me a moment. And she will grab a little canvas bag and slide into it one of those 42-piece boxes. And then she'll scurry around and dig around in the back and grab a very small box that looks like it probably only holds 10 pieces. The first box was silver. This box is gold. It gets dropped in there. And then she goes and she gets another silver one about the same size and she slides it in there. And she says, now, this is for Jean. And then she takes one of those little tiny boxes. And it's in gold paper, but it's got both gold and silver ribbons on it. And she says, don't, this one's just for Jean. Mrs. Scaros doesn't need to know about this one. And slips it into the box and ties the handles together and hoists it over the counter to Snaps and says, all told, that would be, I would discount. Give me a moment. And she's doing math and then 53 gold, dear.
And
Okay.
Maiev had also wandered in with her, and she goes, "Wait, if Miss Scaros doesn't, should I not tell Miss Scaros that I got Jean Baldylocks? Is it gonna make her mad?"
I don't know what Baldylocks is, dear, but I don't think it's related to the secret chocolates. It's
Okay.
it's their anniversary is coming soon, and sometimes one's amorous nature can use a boost, and so that little box is just for Jean.
So I will definitely do the 53 gold pieces. And then is there, how many is in the 10 gold piece box?
There's 8 in there.
And there's what, 7 of us?
It's gonna be a long night. All like bites.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and get a 10 piece box so we can each have a chocolate out of, or a 10 gold 8 piece box.
You bet. And did
For
you
the-
want a variety or all the same? Do you need a sample? Here,
whatever your
let me
best
do
sellers
this.
are.
And now there's at least 3 of you standing at the counter at this point. Is everybody else outside?
I would have waited outside.
So she's going to grab a couple of loose chocolates out of little dishes behind the counter and cut them into 3 pieces. And the first one, she puts a little tiny piece in front of each of the 3 of you, Aste, Maiev, and Snaps. Give that a try. Let me know what you think.
I'll be the first then.
Snaps will pop it in her mouth.
It is the richest, darkest, bittersweet chocolate in the world that is wrapped around a gelatinous, firm jelly goo that tastes very much of apricots and cashews. It's got a nutty flavor to it, but also very tart fruit.
Oh.
Now, those are my favorite, but let me have these are Jean's favorite. And she puts a little piece of one in front of each of you.
John's favorite is immediately shoved into Maiev's mouth.
And those are milk chocolate, and the jelly inside is more of a cream consistency than a gelatin, and is definitely flavored in sort of a cherry flavor.
Oh, those
a
are
cherry cream filling.
good.
Pacer of Undead, Foiler of Plots, DoorDashers of Marital Eats.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, that's exactly who you are. Okay, and the third little sample is Mrs. Scaros' favorite, and it's just got gooey, sticky, stringy, hard to cut into 3 pieces because the caramel is just so ooey gooey, and it's dark chocolate with caramel inside. So I can give you a box of 10 of just one of those, or I can give you a box of 10 that has a variety of them like that.
Actually, I will
What's
get
the
a
next size up? Because Maiev wants
28
to.
piece box because that
28
divides by
pieces? Sure.
7.
Sure. And
we
the
could each have
variety
4 out of
or
it.
all
Those 3.
great.
Variety.
Here's what I'll do. I will do and she's going to figure out the math, and you'll each get it's 28 divided by 7 is 4 pieces each. So she will give you is Samity with you?
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people.
Mhm.
Each getting 4. So she will give you
Mhm.
7 of the caramels and 7 of the cherries and 7 of the apricots and 7 of something that's sort of D4 shaped. And she says
Ooh.
this is just solid chocolate, but it is solid white chocolate on the inside and milk chocolate around that, and then dark chocolate around that.
Ooh.
And so she makes up a box just like that and ties a little bow, and she ties around it one gold string and one silver string, and puts it in on the counter for you. You can untie your bag and shove it in the bag, whatever you want to do.
And my
Uh,
just
28
and
gonna
box with 25
lean in a
gold,
little
ain't it?
bit.
correct,
Sorry, how much is it?
25
25
gold for the
gold.
28.
Although she probably would go for friends of Jean. Let's go with 20 gold, shall we?
Okay, and Maiev will cover half of it as well.
Okay. So you'll get 10 gold.
And then
I'll get the other 10, and then the 53.
yeah. And Maev's gonna lean in while she's tying the group box together and go, do you have any purple string?
I might. Give me a moment. And she runs in the kitchen and comes back out with this ribbon that's purple but also has green stripe along, so it's a purple and green stripe. How about this? We usually use it for the grape boxes.
I like it. But can please?
And she's just holding out the string. You'd like me to tie it to your box?
I'm not good at knots.
Okay, and so she does a little whippity whip and ties it and puts a bow. There you go.
Thank you.
Chocolates. Mm-hmm.
And while she was wandered in the back looking for the string, I would like to have dropped an additional 10 gold somewhere behind the counter for her to find later.
Cool. Great.
Um,
Because you know that the bag for the Scaros Jean family would probably been about 90 gold, and she only took 53
Yeah.
from you. So, you know.
I'm just imagining Maya just throwing the fucking gold back there. It's like, "Arf." And she'll pick it up later.
Bling.
And
I have created a campaign where money means nothing to you people. Okay. Just throwing it around.
10 gold and 2 platinum because fuck it.
To be fair, I've been frugal. I
That's
even
true.
told us how to save some money, and then it ended up backfiring.
Money means nothing to several of these people, including Snaps.
Okay. Have a lovely day, folks. Enjoy your chocolate. And you
The
make your way
gallery, I
back out
guess.
into the street and continuing, I assume, toward the gallery.
Yes, and Snaps kind of lags behind a little bit, just toward the back of our group.
Okay. Do you want to add anything to that as you're strolling down the street? Does anyone want to react to Snap's dawdling?
Ross, it would,
Maiev,
yeah, just kind of hang back a little bit.
I think Maiev is gonna start talking into Foggy's head.
I'm listening.
While we're wandering down the road, she's just gonna talk into Foggy's head and be like, "There's a bunch of chocolate in the bag. Snaps is dawdling."
He's gonna cast like a slight glance backwards, and then to her specifically. Is she? Oh yeah, she is. Yeah. Give me a minute, and I start to also dawdle and get ready to do some kind of speaking. But I see that Ross is also backing
Yeah,
up.
Ross
So
would,
I
yeah.
let you go first.
And Maev's just gonna wander back up by Dusky.
So
Just
we're
kind
kind
of
of in a
teetering
line of
along.
like Aste, Dusk, Maev, and then me slightly behind them, and then Rasa snaps at the back.
And
And
Samity
Samity
somewhere in the middle.
Oh,
Everything
I'm gonna
okay,
mute myself.
Snappies?
Rasa, why? And she's kind of talking quietly as they're kind of lagging behind. Why don't you want to go back home?
Which home?
Well, where you came from. Why don't you want to talk to this lady that's in Dybrook?
Because they're old-fashioned fuddy-duddies who believe they know what is best for me despite what I want. They want to marry me off so that they can gain position. I don't want that.
And Snap's face kind of screwed up because that's a foreign concept for her. Yeah, I can see how you wouldn't. Ew. What? Are there parts of not home, but where you came from that you miss?
I miss my mentor dearly. But honestly, I was treated more as property to them. And this is my first, real time outside and learning who I am and what I can do and what I can be. And I like it out here.
I get that. And this lady that's waiting in Dybrook, you think she's going to try to take you back by force?
I don't know. I did kind of give them the impression when I left that I wasn't going to be gone this long.
Well, we've got your back, right?
Of course.
Whatever your decision is, we will fight with you.
But let's be honest. This is fun. That won't be.
So, have you ever been to a gallery before?
I'm sure I probably have, but was probably bored out of my skull. So
You probably viewed several private collections of other noble houses, but I don't know that you've ever been to a public gallery.
Maybe not the public one, yeah, but
Well, maybe we can have fun in the public gallery.
So Aste's gonna kind of turn heel and like look at the whole group, and he's gonna like kind of call out. He's like, "Rasa, do you have a last name?" I feel
Varia?
like Varia, thank you. And then he turns back.
maybe
And like keeps looking into his book.
It's been a while.
And Snaps kind of quickens her pace to kind of rejoin the group a little bit. Hey. Was Foggy talking to her?
Yeah, I got DMs going on.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Sorry. Yeah. He was getting ready to. That's what that sigh was.
Oh, okay.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. Are you okay after my reaction last night?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm old compared to most people, and so the mental journey that is is this gonna work is something I've been through dozens of times, so it doesn't stress me out. If this doesn't work, it doesn't work. If it works, it works.
Hmm.
But enough about me, because I don't
That's
just mean
oddly
that.
comforting.
You've been off all morning.
I do have a question.
I probably have an
How
answer.
is Karak?
Last I checked, he's doing fine. Lack of getting into a real brawl would probably has him at least a little bit on edge, but he's learning to cope with long stretches of time where nothing happens.
Well, maybe there's something going on at the gallery, and if not, maybe we'll hit the road soon. And
I would love the opportunity to rough up a noble. That's always fun.
Is that a challenge?
Oh. Ooh.
Seriously though, Snaps, you've been
Winner
seriously off
gets
all
the
morning.
first chocolate.
Seriously though, Snaps, you've been seriously off all morning. I don't just mean about us. What's going on?
back in that cave in the mountains.
Mm-hmm.
I know that what's his face, Fancy Pants, he said that they were just possibilities. But I saw this vision of my home being destroyed, and it's just been kicking around. I know it's not. I checked in on them this morning. They're fine.
There is this hard to read look of just general empathy. I'm sorry. That's not an easy kind of thought to live with. Trust me, I know. You're gonna be okay.
And I'm just, yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine. Let's go check out the gallery.
Yeah, I'll drop it. I'm sorry. And Foggy keeps walking.
She's still kind of in her thoughts, but after some conversation, she's a little more present. Keeping walking.
That? Buzz off.
And you guys will see like letters and words kind of swirl around him for a moment as they go along.
Are you reading and walking?
I am. And he says without turning. Yeah, that'll do. You guys just kind of see him activate his lore hold primer for a little while, that's all, while we're walking. So he investigated something. For anyone who's...
Dusk
And
will take a moment to tap Snaps on the shoulder.
Yeah.
And just he's not gonna be like quiet, but he's gonna say, I forget, you know a thing or two about like you have that kit, right? Or am I thinking of that make like salves and stuff?
Yeah, I just got it yesterday.
Right. Do you maybe it'd be worthwhile? I might be needing something for soreness on surfaces, skin, if it were. And he's going
And
to.
Snaps
He's
just gives him a
tall.
weird look.
He's going to like poke at his head and just sort of like tip his head down, and you're gonna see like two nubs forming on his head, like less than 3/4 of an inch, poking through his hair.
Antlers.
Right,
Snaps is legit
it's that
excited
time.
about these antlers.
I should have been expecting it given the time of year, but the climate's a little different here. But for a young buck like myself, it's It's late in the season, I think, so it's they're starting. Oh boy, it's going to get weird.
Yeah. When we have a chance to sit down, I can figure out something.
Right? They'll be at least until they get a little bigger. It's going to be sensitive, and I'm going to forget, and I'm going to end up bonking them into things, I'm sure. But it's going to be different. We'll see how they come out this year.
Cool. And she's already trying to mess with her little herbalism kit and see what she's got. Planning.
Righto. I just figured I'd give you the heads up, and soon it'll be unavoidable. I'm sure within days. These puppies grow fast. All right.
Oh my goodness. Hi, Zoe.
So that's a lot
Hi,
of
Zoe.
ground to cover in quarter mile.
Yeah, that was a lot of talking in that walk.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
I apologize. I was looking up information and missed the exchange between Snaps and Foggy. Can I have a nutshell of what that was?
Snaps has been off all morning, and I just touched base a little bit. Snaps.
She's been thinking
revealed
about her
to-
home and that vision she had of everyone dead in the cave, in the Fomorian cave.
Got it. Okay. So you're
That's what
just
she
having
told Foggy.
anxiety sensation. Okay.
Yes.
Great. Any more conversation in this very short, slow walk? As we make our way to here. I will read the narration that I wrote for this segment. The Academy Gallery lies directly in the center of town. Its position represents its status as the soul of the community. Everything in Salt End is about upscale art and trade. It was designed by one of the first graduates of the Academy who spectacularly captured the people's love of arts and the sea. The stone selected for the columns matches the color of the sand on the beaches and the area and the front of the structure is constructed with a whimsical combination of stones and wooden pieces, creating a feeling of the sea itself and the nearby docks. Although whimsical in style, it is a very elegant structure that makes you feel a little underdressed, no matter what you are wearing. As you approach the entrance, I need a wisdom saving throw from everybody, please.
Oh, lovely.
Hate that.
Okay.
That's not good. What's my add-on?
I forget. 3.
Oh boy.
You guys. I just got a natural 20.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
She's now in her head because of fake recognition.
Who's shocked? I know I am.
Oh
I'm
boy.
the monk. I should have good wisdom.
Somebody want to roll for Samity, please?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Yes, I will do. Oh boy, that's a 4.
Cool. I'm going to give her a 5.
I'm glad you beat me to it. I rolled way worse than that, somehow.
What is with the
Okay.
rolls on this whiz, bro?
Great.
Might as well do that. Ugh. God, my fucking head. I'm sorry, gang.
Okay. And may I please have a wisdom saving throw for everyone?
Another one?
Another one?
Another one?
Yes, please.
Another one?
Oh, Jesus.
Why?
Suck.
Oh no.
No!
Not as good.
Nat 1 for Aste.
Fucking.
Oh my god.
Jeez.
My brother.
A
We stinking
23.
together.
Foggy. Foggy's
Yeah.
second one is a nat 1 from a 6. My goodness.
Yup. My
Yo.
last several dice rolls have been 3, 3, 1.
Wow. Great.
I'm not
Mine
using
was
that particular d20 for the rest of the night. It's a good thing I've got.
Are we
1,
sure
2, 3,
Foggy's
4,
feeling
5,
okay
6,
this
7,
morning?
9. It's a good thing I've got 11 other d20s because that particular d20 is not being used anymore tonight. I can hear that
13.
gif. I can hear that gif. Out of this house. Out of this house. Spirits be gone from this house.
Okay. Is that a movie I don't know?
No, it's a YouTuber.
YouTuber,
Okay. Great. Here we go.
Hello, Jax.
Alrighty. As you make your way into the gallery, you will find a wide open space where the various pieces of art each have their own little like nest area of benches or chairs on which you can sit and enjoy them for however long you feel each one deserves. The party is immediately greeted by a smartly dressed gnome and he will run up and good morning, good morning. I'm Jorvin, the proprietor of the gallery, and how are you today? Are you having a nice day? The nice stroll this morning?
Got a bunch of chocolate.
Oh yeah, yes, right down the way here, and he points in the direction you came from. Good stuff, good stuff. The pyramids are the best. Okay,
Quite.
and is there? Are you familiar? You don't look familiar to me, but you know a lot of people visit the gallery. Have you been here before? Do you have any questions? Do you want to just look around? It's totally up to you. If you'd like a guy, I'm here for you.
Just gonna lean over to Snaps and go, "Did he have one of your drinks?"
We've heard some good things about this place, and we're passing through. We're just wanted to see what was all about.
Oh, well, please enjoy the what we have on display today. These are works that are basically representative of the students at the academy, and the school sells the works to pay for their tuition and their room and board, or to reimburse their parents for those expenses if they in fact had to pay, minus a minor fee for us, of course. As you view the art, you'll see there's a plaque underneath each one. It has the name given by the student for the piece of art and a price there for purchase. And if you have any questions, please feel free to flag me down. I'm going to give you space so that you can peruse to your heart's content, and you may feel free to stay with each piece as long as it moves you, and there is no rush. You're welcome to remain as long as you like. I will not be asking you to leave until well after sunset.
Well, that's very kind of you.
I suppose I should open up with the question that I will begin with is, are these art pieces in competition with each other? Has there been a competition? Or is there like a most prized piece?
Oh, there is definitely no competitive nature to our gallery or to the school, for that matter. It's a blossoming of skill and artistry and creativity that we support here. We the professors offer assistance in developing skills where they need developing, and encouragement where maybe creativity has waned. But for the most part, it is representative of each student's will and soul and spirit and consciousness.
Alrighty.
So
Did
there
I
is no
answer that
most.
question?
I asked if there was a most prized piece, if there was no competitive nature.
Yeah. So as far as a most prized piece, I believe it's a personal preference. I have seen people respond to each different piece differently. And for me, it is this one here, and he points to this cylindrical shape in the middle of the space. There's this cylinder of wall that goes straight up to the ceiling and has a narrow opening so that you can walk into a circular space that is surrounded by wall. This is my favorite piece, but it's all dependent on the viewer, really.
I see.
And I will leave you to visit whichever exhibit draws your attention and makes your spirit sing. I will be here behind the counter. Feel free to holler if you need assistance or have any questions, but I don't want to crowd anyone, so I'll be back here out of the way. I would like each person, including someone rolling on Samity's behalf, to roll a d6.
Okay.
I'm not sure
Okay.
I like this. Roll a d6, dude.
What does it all mean?
Dusk. Nat.
Missing.
So we have the
Am I
the,
supposed to roll
the
thing?
Moon Brothers.
Yes,
Both
a
riding
d6,
the tree.
please.
Oh, a d6. Oh, bet. Yo. I got a 6. Nice. Oh,
Great.
type that in.
The only thing that wasn't rolled was a 2. I'm scared.
I managed. Okay, so
Well, 5 also.
as you, yeah,
5 was also not rolled. I just wanted.
I know numbers.
yeah, I made adjustments as needed to make sure that I get what I need, so we're good. Okay, so starting with Rasa.
Uh-huh.
You enter this space, and it is beautiful. It is pristine. It is clean. What is shiny is supposed to be shiny. What is matte is supposed to be matte. It's beautiful. It's exquisite. And you pause in front of an oil painting. I forgot to do something. Hold on. EC 16. This one. This one. And this one. Cool. Okay. So you stop in front of an oil painting. The image depicted is a female drow, sort of hunched down and weeping over the body of a slain human man. The drow female is slender and delicate, kneeling in a pool of blood next to an expansive and well-adorned dining table. Like most drow, she has obsidian skin and thick white hair. Her eyes are a little unusual, though. They are the color of amber, and they seem to reflect an intelligence masked only by the tears pouring from them. Her face is deeply expressive, showing both pain and anger. The slain man has thick muscles, making him resemble a tall dwarf, but he wears no beard and has very refined features. He has short, tousled dark hair, pale skin, and pale blue topaz eyes that stare out at you lifelessly. There is a shadow of a large black bear in the background of the image, like the ghost of a figure, really. It's not really there, it's sort of a hint of it. It's almost humanoid in stature, but the features of it are clearly that of a bear. And as you study the image, a deep sense of loss and grief is going to overtake you. You're unable to stop what happens to your heart as it's breaking, and tears form in your eyes. And you feel as though you've just lost the most important person in your life. Someone you didn't even know you could love that much is gone from you, and the ache is cutting into you so intensely. You are just emotionally crushed. And under all of that is a bubbling, silent rage. The plaque beneath that image reads Lyriel and Fyodor, and it is followed by the number 3650.
What?
And you are gutted, so emotionally tapped by this image, by the beauty of it, and the everything about this image is just crushing your soul and waking something in you. And there is something about it that you absolutely, positively must have it. There's no leaving here without it. You absolutely believe that you need to buy this. This is so important to you. You strongly, with all of your being, want to purchase this particular piece of art. Next, Aste.
You said
There is
3650, right?
3650.
Fun. Okay.
Aste, as you wander around the room, you see the beautiful art that Rasa's looking at and may or may not notice that she starts crying right away. You find an ornately carved vase resembling intricate lace at the rim that rests on a pedestal made of blue-green marbled stone. It is a perfectly glazed porcelain surface that is decorated with a collection of fruits in varying types and sizes. The realism and shadow work are most impressive. You could almost reach out and pick up an orange. It just looks so realistic. One part of your mind begins to experience the taste and aroma of the various fruits painted on the unbroken sections of porcelain below the lacy cutouts. Some of these flavors may be unfamiliar to you. Being from the Astral Sea, you may never have actually eaten an orange, but you are tasting an orange. And then you taste a grape, and then you taste grapefruit, and then you taste a strawberry. And the different fruits that are depicted on this vase, their individual flavors cross your senses as if you had eaten them, even if they are unfamiliar flavors to you. As you gaze upon the vase, you begin to feel a sense of well-being, acceptance, and a safety that's usually described as the epitome of home. It's almost like the vase is giving you the most maternal hug you have ever experienced. It is safety, it is comfort, it is being well. The small plaque on the pedestal reads Granny's Favorites, and it is followed by the number 2300, and you admire this artwork greatly. It is beautiful.
Absolutely.
Augie.
Oh Lord.
Moving on. Unless Aste wants to, or Rasa wants to say something in particular that won't require too much delaying getting the other ones out.
Okay, then never mind.
Yeah, we'll come back around and start with Rasa after everybody's heard their bit, so that everyone has the same amount of time to decide what they want to do about what they just heard. So next is Foggy. You wander around and you see Aste like possibly rubbing his nose a little bit or smacking his lips as he's gazing upon this vase. And you see Rasa has begun to cry a little bit, but you're going to give her her space. And you see out of the corner of your eye a beautiful woven tapestry hanging on a partition just opposite the vase. And the image that is carefully woven into this fabric is of a jungle scene with a waterfall. The waterfall is depicted with such intricate detail that it almost looks like it is flowing water. In the background, the verdant foliage climbs along a cliffside and blankets the hills before them. You can practically smell the flowers depicted on the plants in the foreground. There are small weasel-like creatures in the shallow pool at the bottom that seem to be engaging in some sort of playful bathing activity. There are birds in the trees and one gliding across the sky in the distance with vibrant multicolored plumage. As you view the image, you begin to feel a deep sense of gratitude. You can't help but take a moment to truly appreciate the wonder and beauty of the world around you, everything you've seen recently and everything you've ever seen, and the diversity of the creatures that you've encountered throughout your lifetime. You linger in this understanding that the universe is a wondrous gift, and you are grateful for the opportunity to experience it. The small plaque reads, "Green is good," followed by the number 2750.
Okay.
And number 4, dusk. As you see everybody being drawn to something, you sort of meander around and between the different areas, and finally you settle on a little cloth-covered chair that is directly in front of a short table. And there's a sofa and chair combo with this small, like a coffee table, in front of them. And on it is an almost full-size wooden carving of a wolf. The carving is meticulous. The fur is so well defined, and it looks like you could pet the darn thing. The artist has incorporated the bark of the tree into the fur and the ruff, creating a very interesting color contrast. The features of the face are calm and relaxed. There is nothing vicious or ferocious at all about this wolf. And as you look upon it, you begin to feel a storm growing deep within you. It's as if suddenly there is something that you've wanted to accomplish in life, which has somehow evaded you. Try as you might, you can't shake the feeling that nothing you've ever done measures up to your own high expectations of yourself. Instead of self-doubt or sadness, though, you're simply frustrated by it. Like you know you could do better, and you're determined to keep trying. So frustration and determination just well up in you in equal measure. And the small plaque on the edge of the table reads, "Majesty Incarnate," and the number is 1795. 6 is snaps. I've missed something. Dusk was 4. 5 is Samity. And as you all are, paying attention to each other, getting glances at each other, but hyper-focused on your individual piece of art that drew you, you find that Samity has wandered into that little circular area that Jorvan described. And so she's kind of obscured from view from everyone because the opening faces the front door. So unless you cross in front of that opening, you can't really see inside that cylindrical area. And from there, if you can hear Samity after a moment or two of being in there, you begin to hear a giggle, a girlish laugh, just the sound coming from there is that of the most joyous laughter, joyous sensation she could possibly be experiencing in there. Something in there has made her so fucking happy. And you hear her from inside, "Oh, we have to buy this. Oh, we gotta have this. This is great. You guys gotta see. We gotta have this. We gotta. But I don't have that kind of gold, but we gotta have this one." Number 6 is snaps. Snaps. Placed in the center of a wooden plinth lies a single polished stone with an image of a human ear carved into the marbled blue surface. It drew your attention.
Weird.
What are you going to do? Are you going to pick it up? Are you going to touch it? Are you going to bend over and put your ear on it? What are you going to do?
I'm just looking at it because that's weird.
It's just a rock, polished rock with an image of an ear carved into it. If you stand there too long, Jordan's going to come prod you.
Are there any signs for this one? Because it just seems kind of weird to me.
There's a small plaque on the edge of the plinth that reads Quartet J, followed by the number 10580.
Sing into it.
Yeah, I don't want to touch it. I get this impression you're not supposed to touch the art. And Ross is crying over there.
eventually-
Samity's having a fit.
Yeah,
It's. I'm getting weird vibes.
yeah, cool. So Jorvin's going to come over and he's going to pick it up and he's going to hold it out to you and say, "Trust me."
She will hold it up to one of her ears on her head.
Great. At first, there is nothing. But then, just before you go to put it back down, inside your head, you hear a quiet, percussive beat. I can't believe you rolled this number. A quiet, percussive beat slowly emerging from the silence. It carefully and gradually increases in tempo and volume as additional taps and brush sounds slip in between the accelerating beats. You can't help but tap your foot along as you are suddenly engulfed in excitement and anticipation. Soon, the exciting drum is joined by a stringed instrument that brings a melody to the now rapid beat. As you breathe in deeply, you're filled with an overwhelming sense of love and elation. You might possibly start dancing around the room until another, deeper stringed instrument joins in, and the tempo again changes. You begin to feel a bit breathless as the music grows deeper and more frantic. There is suddenly a vicious hand of anxiety and fear gripping through you with these racing notes. And finally, all three musical voices flow, subside, and fade away as the pensive flute sneaks up and takes the reins. It sings soulfully hollow, wooden tones so gently that your heart aches with loss and longing as the music slowly and gently comes to an end. In the end, you are breathless, sweaty, and have tears streaming down your face. And you are welcome to put that rock back on the plinth.
Yeah, I'm putting that thing back.
Yep. Okay. Who have I not done yet? What have I done? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm missing one. So I'm missing my
There were
Evs.
6 numbers.
Yeah,
There were 6
yeah,
numbers,
yeah.
and there are 7 of us.
Yeah. I thought I had prepared for Samity to join you. So I'm going to decide that Maiev is overwhelmed by the sounds coming from Samity. And rather than being drawn to anything else in the space, she's drawn to whatever it is that's got Samity's attention. And so
I'm
you
cool with
slip
that.
in through that opening and find in there, Samity is literally dancing on the borders of this circular space, just twirling around, her skirt flying, just dancing and just celebrating it all, wildly celebrating. This intricate flying dragon hangs as a glass sculpture from the ceiling. It's made of perfectly clear glass that just has a barely touch of blue in it that brings out the various tiny spikes and points on the dragon's head. And just beyond it, the blank partition is emblazoned with tiny rainbows cast from the prismatic shapes of the scales as the sunlight pours in through the open front door of the gallery, strikes the dragon, and displays for you this wildly dancing rainbows on the walls. The design is breathtaking. Enough said. As you look into the eyes of this dragon, You feel an extraordinary happiness. No, it's more like joy. It's joy or euphoria. No, joy. It is joy, joyful. You have an urge to dance and sing right along with Samity, and the small plaque reads lightning, followed by the number 6580, and you must buy this. You got to have it. You and Samity together have got to take this home and somehow hang it up in whatever room you're going to put Samity in, or in your room. Or maybe Samity now has to live in your room so that you can both be where this thing is forever.
Okay.
So now we're going to go back to Rasa, who has an undying need to purchase this painting that has made her feel sad, longing, loss, and a little bit of angry.
I think what Rasa is interpreting it as is a warning of what would happen.
Oh, hush up, dog.
That dog does not like that painting.
But she's kind of interpreting it as a warning of what would happen if she would go back home. That the freedom that she has now, the person that she is finding, would be basically killed off, left, forgotten, whatever. And so the rage or the anger that is coming behind it is how much she does not want that to happen.
Okay.
And she knows about how much she has in her purse. And she knows she doesn't have enough. Especially if that's gold price.
Yep, that's gold price.
And that pisses her
you
off
don't
even more.
care. You don't care. You got to have it. You got to figure it out. You got to have it. That's what's happening for you. Would you like me to move on to someone else while you decide what next you're going to do about that?
Yeah, because right now it's going completely, illegally unethical, which is not good. So. I mean, she's the rogue.
The rogue wants that art. Oh no!
I have a bit of a good.
I was so busy reading my narrative that I missed all of the chat things. Hold on. I battled my inner demons. I rolled a 3. Yay for Samity. Samity's number, please. My app has a history with body parts on walls.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Deep cut.
Yeah. Maev was the one that kissed the face in the closet, thanks to me Jaegering her into it.
Got it. Mm-hmm.
Yep, never living that down. Never living that down.
Andrew, I refuse to allow you to have context. I refuse to allow you to have context.
Makes you feel better. I don't have context either.
Oh yeah, that was also before you!
That was pre-snaps.
Oh my
God,
yeah. The musical brick that Snaps picked up.
That was like our first dungeon, so to speak, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Yep.
Anyways.
That was pretty early on. Okay, Aste, you are standing in front of a beautiful vase and tasting shit you've never tasted before. And you feel the epitome of home, comfort, well-being, safety, acceptance of who you are, and comfort in that.
So I have the Lore Hold Primer, and I'm a happy boy because I have the Lore Hold Primer, because I did it during the rest. So I was able to get a first level wizard spell, which means I can detect magic. Yay! So I'm gonna use detect magic. Tell me what schools are being applied to my senses right now.
Absolutely none that you can identify. It is somehow magical in nature, but it's not something you recognize. If you tried to ascribe a color to it, it would be shifting and strange.
Like a prismatic magic?
something weird going on, like even almost
I would have thought some illusion magic or something. Jeez.
like sepia tone or black and white, shades of gray. It's just not normal. Not
that-
something you're familiar with.
Is that consistent if I walk across all of the exhibits that the others have seen?
Yes.
Really?
If you get close to
Holy crap.
Rasa, Samedi, or Maiev, you might think that they have been affected not only by this weird, unidentifiable school of magic, but also whatever school of magic it is that involves being charmed.
Let's see. Well, telling them they're charmed isn't going to help them. That's the worst part. I don't think I have this. Do I have this?
Enchantment, for the record.
Yeah. I don't
Cool.
have
Enchantment it is.
I don't have anything that breaks enchantments. That sucks. That blows. I wonder if taking them away from the art piece makes them break the enchantment. So I'm gonna go ahead and see if I have a thingy dingy here. I'm gonna start by I'm gonna do a little experiment, right?
Well,
Yeah.
first, let me tell you that you
Oh.
may have seen the shadow of enchantment magic upon those persons, but you don't know, none of them have said anything to alert you to what this charm might be or
Right,
what
yeah.
this enchantment
Okay,
might
so
be
it's
doing.
more just like a passive or good enchantment could be.
Yeah,
Right.
you
Well, I
really
assume someone
don't know what's
crying.
happening. Yeah, Rasa's crying, and
Yeah.
Maiev and Samedi are in there laughing their asses off with joy.
Yeah.
And you, again, you are feeling this overwhelming sense of well-being and
Home.
acceptance of who you are and home and safe.
Yeah, which is healthy. That's the thing. That's a healthy feeling, and it's not like, yeah, this is difficult.
Alrighty, that's your thing I'm going to let you do. We'll come back to you.
Yeah,
Foggy.
that's fine.
Foggy, you are looking
Yeah.
at a beautiful woven tapestry, and you are feeling this overwhelming sense of gratitude. And it is beautiful. And you're hearing Maiev and Samedi laughing their asses off, and you see Ross is crying, and Snaps is over there looking a little bit worse for wear.
Yeah.
Aste might be standing a little taller than usual. I can move past you if you don't want to do anything in particular in this moment.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna step a little bit away from my art piece just for a minute and just observe my friends.
But not
Just
any of
for
the
a little
art
bit.
that they have looked at.
Not any of their art. I'm just gonna observe
Okay.
my people.
Okay. Dusk. You
Yeah.
are gazing at a wooden carving of a wolf, and
Yep.
you are feeling that frustration
Yes.
and
Yes.
determination well up within you.
Right. So he's looking at his wolf, and that frustration is something within him that he's feeling, but he's also starting to think, why do I feel this way? How can this thing make me feel bad about myself when I barely know who I am?
Did I hear that?
Did
I
you
hear
say that out loud?
Yes, yeah, he's gonna say that out loud, like, what devilry is this?
I'm gonna like turn to him and say, probably enchantment magic, but it's something that I'm not sure of.
Because like he's not used to art. I mean, other than like his wooden trinkets, and a little bit of the art that he saw up in God, golly, along the way down. I don't have the map in front of me. The girl who did the carvings, who was going here but then left,
Yeah.
and said that there's like he was kind of going into this thinking like with that in mind, like what is this art going to be if it's like something was weird with the students, and so he was sort of bracing himself for something kind of odd, and then he looked at this wolf, and granted, wolves were something maybe to be respected, revered, but also feared from where he comes from. He doesn't remember a whole lot about that, but then he feels this sense of that frustration in him, and not living up to things that he said. It's like it's like I've served the Moon Maiden as faithfully as I can, and why is this making me feel bad about not doing enough? And just sort of gets angry and frustrated and determined to do more, but like, how is this sculpture making me feel this way?
So Jorvin, sensing your frustration and dissatisfaction with the experience, will come bustling from behind his counter, and he'll just put his reach out to put his hand on your shoulder if you will allow him to.
I'm not going to allow him. I'm going to say, no, I'm
Oh,
all right.
sorry, I didn't mean to. Yes, well, I would like to suggest that if this particular piece of art is not enjoyable for you to view, that maybe you should elect to spend some time with one of the other pieces.
I need a moment to think. I'll let you know if there's another piece that I'd like to take a look at. I need to ponder something real quick. Just this has informed me of something perhaps interesting about myself, but also.
Well, I just would like to remind you, sir, that what you are experiencing is whatever it is the student has made for you,
Made
and
for
that
me.
maybe, or for all of us, I often, when viewing this piece, do feel a sense of frustration, and I'm convinced that there is something in the art that imbues that feeling for me, just like you see over here, and he points at Rasa. And see how she is moved emotionally by the image that she's viewing?
You have
This
no
piece,
idea how much that frightens me to see her reduced to that.
it is the power of art, sir. It moves you in different ways.
Some of
It
the
is
most
an
dreadful things in this world that I've seen hasn't reduced her that.
I have many questions about this school.
and Jorvin is just trying desperately to encourage you to accept that your experience is that of someone viewing true, genuine, high skill art.
Oh.
This is what true, real artistry does. It moves you.
He's going to fish a little trinket out of his pocket and say, "This is R2." It doesn't reduce me to tears. It doesn't reduce me to feeling bad about how I've not lived up to any expectations I might have had for myself. It doesn't make me giddy with glee like that one over there.
And he'll hold his hand out as if to request.
And
to
I'll
look at your
hand him a
piece of
Moon
art.
Maiden trinket, it's and
he'll
blessings
spend a
of-
minute with it and just
Salute.
gaze at it and caress it with his fingertips. And he'll look at you and he will say, "This engenders in me a sense of happiness and a sense of freedom. Freedom is what I get from this, a sense of freedom and joy." And then hand it back to you.
Tell me I'm hearing all of this right now, dear.
Oh, yes, definitely. Open conversation.
I'm about to rip this boy's shit open, I swear to God.
And let's see. I'm just going to
My heavens, Samity, still dancing in the circle.
Snaps is also at this point kind of coming to herself, and
yeah, we can move away from Dusk and Jorvin
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Aste to get Snaps next. Amity is just vibing with Maiev, and we'll just skip down to Snaps.
They're just jumping around with their hands held. We need it. We need it.
We gotta have it. Okay, so Snaps, you are feeling a roller coaster of emotions that have passed through you, one after another, after another, after another.
She went through an entire journey that started with love and elation and went to anxiety and then soulful and sorrowful. And she immediately put that shit down. And as she's catching her breath, she can't help but to look over at Foggy, but then she's distracted.
I will tell you that you are no longer experiencing any of those emotions. You have clear memory of them, but it is not happening right now.
Okay. Yeah, now she's angry about it. And Foggy and Maiev, not that surprising. Maybe a little surprising, but the Rasa thing is freaking her out. And not even saying anything, I'm gonna cast detect evil and good.
Give me let me search for detect evil and good, because I don't know what the range and shit is on that.
It's 30 feet.
She would still need to know every single possible thing that it could show you, so give her a minute.
You know if there is an aberration, celestial, elemental, fey, fiend, or undead within 30 feet of you. If you know there is a place or object within 30 feet of you that has been magically consecrated or desecrated. Consecrated would be a deity thing, and desecrated would be a other kind of deity thing, yeah?
Desecrated, as far as I'm aware in general, means it was once a deity thing
evil.
and has been destroyed.
Or switched
Has
to
been
evil.
warped.
Yeah.
Or switched to evil.
Yeah.
Correct, yeah.
Cool. So for the next 10 minutes, if any of those things are within 30 feet of you, I will let you know.
Okay. That's about what I've got here in terms of like what trying to figure out what the fuck is going on. But yeah, and then I will cede the floor back to anyone else.
I would definitely look over to like Professor.
Yes.
What kind of arcane shenanigans is afoot here? Because there's no way that just a piece of art is going to reduce Lady Rasa to tears.
Well, and he then walks over kinda close to us, not close enough to the art piece, because Hosty's a little scared of that one. And shut up!
If it brings Rasa to any form of tears, it's gonna give you a fucking panic attack.
Yeah, really. That's what I'm saying. And I am going to point at Rasa and snap his fingers. Dispel magic.
Okay, somebody gotta give me dispel magic.
Choose one creature, object, or magical effect within range. Any spell of 3rd level or lower on the target ends. For each spell of 4th level or higher, they make an ability check using their spell casting ability. So I guess the paint's spellcasting ability. Oh wait, no. What's
Yeah, no, you are making a check against whatever is currently affecting her.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not going to affect.
Okay, gotcha.
When you do that kind of thing, I believe it's you target a specific effect that's happening. I believe.
Yeah, I can choose a creature, object, or magical effect. I'm choosing.
Yeah, so you have targeted Rasa.
The technically the enchantment that's currently happened, that wibbly wobbly enchantment on her.
I need to know, did you target Rasa or the painting?
Well, it says choose one creature, object, or magical effect. So I'm assuming the magical effect on Rasa.
Cool. I'm great.
So as
I'm
the creature.
Sorry, I know that's not very. I guess the creature that would be probably easier.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Great.
I think yeah.
We'll go with Rasa.
And it is higher than 4th level, so I need you to do your roll.
So
Gotcha.
you're gonna do d20 plus int.
D20 plus int. It's gonna be 12 plus 4, 16. I don't know what that is against.
I believe
though.
DC is 10 plus the spell's level. Double read.
It is
DC
10
is
plus
10
the
plus-
spell's level.
Okay,
Yes.
yeah, and I did a D20, which was 12 plus 4, which is my int, is 16.
16. Give me just a moment to see.
If that's good enough.
Yeah. It's pretty spooky, though.
Oh, God.
I didn't realize I had the spell magic because I'm
You said
blind.
16 or 17?
16.
Did anybody assist him, guide him, anything at all?
Would guidance work on something like this?
I don't know.
Hold on, let me check the spell guide.
It's a skill check. If it was guidance, if it was a skill check,
It's an ability check, isn't it? Or it's a spell casting. Make an ability check using your spellcasting ability. So
Oh
it's
yeah,
an
so
ability
guidance
check.
guidance would work. Yeah, if
Ooh.
it's an ability check.
Can you
So,
please
yeah.
guide yourself? I
Yeah,
need you to
I'll-
hit a
I'll-
17, please.
I can in fact guide myself. So.
Oh yeah, you could do it before you do that. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's
Cool.
a plus
So,
3, so.
yeah, I only needed it to be a 17.
Gotcha.
So what happens is Rasa is still engaged with the painting, correct? You're still looking at it?
Yep.
So you are still experiencing all of those emotions except for the desire to buy it.
Oh.
Hmm.
And then he kind of like
Oh.
pulls Rasa by her like shoulder a little bit to get her away from it.
She
And
would
he's like-
probably still try to shrug off a little bit.
That's fine. Then he'll let her. He says,
Hey, Rasta. How you feel? Anything different?
She's still crying.
Well, I and do you want me to calm you down? Give me the old, the old foggy treatment I used to give.
It's me if I go home.
Oh crap! You are fucked. He looks over his shoulder at, like, I don't know what you just fucking did, what has happened, but if you made her think of going home and made her cry, oh, that's not good. You really stepped on some landmines or anything in this, though. You
And
really stepped on the
at
really
this-
big cow pie here.
at this point, Jorvin is looking very concerned and uncomfortable and is suggesting that all of you either take yourselves away from whatever it is that is causing you such an emotional sensation that you're not enjoying and find something that gives you an emotional sensation you do enjoy, or possibly choose not to engage with any of the art if an emotion if you're not wishing to feel the emotion that is brought on by viewing intense artwork.
Right.
Meanwhile, my Evan Samity are still raving it up in the
Raving it up in there. Joyful, joyful, Lord, we adore thee. Gotta have it, gotta have it. Buy it now.
All right. Dusk is going to then, tap his temple and cast detect magic.
He's gonna also do it. That's fair.
I believe that Aste already did, and I will
he
give
did,
you
never
the
mind.
same. Yeah,
Yeah,
I will give you the same result, or you can decide not to cast the spell.
No, I forgot. He
I don't think
already.
Aste made it clear that he had cast that spell.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was realized that was a spell that we cast. No, then I won't. If
Yeah, I don't want you
you
to waste
clearly
your
cast
resources
something
if you
in
don't have to.
response to it, and it didn't seem to have an effect on her emotions. Just say, just Rasa, what was going on with? What's going on? You gotta talk to us. Did acid do anything? Did it have an effect?
I don't feel like I have to buy it anymore.
What?
I think there's something going on here.
Foggy's
like,
gonna
look
think to himself for a minute.
He's gonna look nice and.
I can't remember what emotion Foggy is experiencing when he's. Are
Grateful
you
to be a
still
part
even
of this
engaged
universe.
with your tapestry?
No,
Yeah.
he backed off.
Okay.
I'm gonna walk up to Rasa. Hey Rasa, you'll thank me for this later. And I'm gonna burn a rage.
Oh, no.
Jesus.
Here we go.
And I'm gonna just put a hand on the shoulder now that I'm like, for the next 6 seconds, I'm a little bit stronger than you, and force you to make direct eye contact with my red and yellow ass fucking eyes. Get away from the painting now.
Would breaking eye contact with the painting be enough to lessen its effect?
Yes. And as soon as you get your focus off of the artwork, the emotions begin to settle. You still remember the feeling that you had while you were looking at the art. You remember how much that artwork invoked emotion in you, but you are no longer actively experiencing those feelings. You just remember having experienced them.
Rasa at that point would probably make a very hasty exit.
Out the front door?
Yup.
I'll get the other two. Everybody else go. We'll talk outside.
Oh, that's a lovely idea. That's a lovely idea. Outside, that would be great. And you can all take a nice deep breath
Zip it!
and gather your okay. And he
And I walk
goes,
towards the cylinder thingy. The thing in the ceiling that they are raving about needing to buy, is it like producing light that is clearly coming out so that I can, without looking at it, know roughly where it is so that I can put a hand in front of it and not make direct eye contact with it?
well, it is a 2-foot long dragon made of glass,
Oh, okay.
hanging at eye level in the middle of the circular area.
Yeah, thought you would probably just
So
lean without looking into the cylinder at all, just kind of lean. You two, out now.
Just on the way out,
Maev
Dust.
has a mirror out. She's bouncing the rainbows. Like, no, Foggy, look, this is so
Maev,
friggin'
I
awesome.
never raise my
What?
voice to you. Get out of the cylinder now.
Rasa needs you.
there we go.
That's
There we
dirty.
go.
That's cruel. That's cruel.
and
Oh no.
Samity's reaction to Foggy's stern voice, it breaks her focus on the artwork, and she turns to look at Foggy, and you see the joy slowly fade from her face as a bit of fear sneaks up. Like she's concerned about whatever it is that is so bad that's got Foggy talking like that, and she heads out to follow him wherever he says to go.
And he just points roughly towards the front of the building and says, "I apologize. We'll talk in a minute. Go outside."
Yeah, okay. And she's still letting the joy wash off of her, even though she's feeling a little trepidation because of your behavior. And, there's that moment of wishy-washy in between the two emotions as she makes her way out the front door. But she still, over her shoulder, says, Mayeb, you gotta buy it before we go, okay?
Yup.
Oh no.
Oh, okay. So I was
Foggy
trying
has
to
raised his
do.
voice at you, and Snaps has claimed that Rasa needs your help, and you are also grappling with an active enchantment. What are you doing?
I was gonna
The
roll for
enchantment
it.
is simply making you extremely joyful. You are feeling nothing but joy in this moment, exhilaration and joy, and the desire to buy this object. So you can react to Foggy any way that Maev would under the emotion of joy.
And then Snap said that Rasa needs me.
Yes.
Think
of it this way. If you were actively hugging Gerald for the first time in 2 years, experiencing that level of joy, and someone said, Rasa needs you, what will happen?
I was gonna roll for it, and I rolled a natural 1.
Oh.
But I don't know what that means.
You're not going anywhere.
That's pretty much what that means. I would like to use the rule of cool inspiration
Oh,
because Snaps hit me with that dig of
Yeah, that's good.
Rasa needs you.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'm gone. I'm out the door. I'm finding Rasa.
Okay.
That's a
good.
15.
So
Okay,
as
well-
you disengage from the artwork, you're still feeling elated and joyful, but also worried about Rasa. And, your focus is now split between that emotion of joy and that bit of trepidation that something's wrong with a very special friend of yours. And you're experiencing both of those emotions as you pass further and further away from the art piece. The joy falls lower and the trepidation and concern for Rasa gets bigger. However, underlying all of it,
You
some
still gotta
part
buy
of
the thing.
you still need to buy this thing before we leave here. You're going to take care of Rasa first, but before we leave
Yeah.
here, you got to get that piece of art in the bag of holding.
Okay.
I would like to make a
Okay.
concerted effort while everyone's leaving. I'm not. And I'm looking at this little guy who's been leading Stone. He's like, "You're a little devil. What kind of magic is that?" And he's like not even worried about anything else. He's just wondering like what this is.
I'm sorry, sir. I genuinely don't understand exactly what you mean. It is the magic of art.
inside
No,
check.
no. I use detect magic. There's an effect happening on the people who look on them. Did you not know this?
There's no magic allowed at the school, sir. But
Okay.
no, no one is allowed to perform any kind of magic beyond
Okay.
the
Then
wall.
you need to evacuate everyone because all of these pieces are laced with it.
I don't understand. It's art, sir.
Yeah. It might be some sort of bardic art. It's still magic. Get everyone out. Trust me. You'll thank me later. And he's gonna
I don't
disappear.
understand.
I mean, is he under some sort of spell?
You wanted to do. You stayed with Aste during that moment, and
Yeah, I
would like
haven't
to do an
left-
insight check.
I
Yeah, go
was
ahead.
going to say one thing to this guy, but Osti's right there, so.
So I'll roll your insight. You tell me what to add to it.
Oh. Dusk insight is a +4.
Wow. Okay. And what you were looking for was what exactly?
I'm trying to ascertain if he's under some sort of magical spell for what appears to be such a blatant, not a lot. The way he's talking is like, it seems like he's saying things squirrely. So I'm trying to determine, is he under some sort of spell or is he just evasive?
Okay. With that roll, you get from this guy that he genuinely doesn't understand that you don't understand that art makes you feel emotion. And highly skilled art makes you feel intense emotion. That's what art does. And so he's confused about that. But also, you do also detect that maybe there's a little something under there that he's choosing not to know.
Choosing not to know, right?
Oh boy.
So,
Like,
what's it called?
there's some part of him that is being mildly minorly deceptive. But
Right,
on the
right.
subject at which he was speaking through all of these exchanges, the topic of conversation through all of this has your belief is that he simply doesn't understand that you don't understand.
Right.
But there is something else hidden, buried in there that's not related to the emotion drawn out by art.
Dusk is going to lean over and whisper into this guy's ear, and he just says, "Not all monsters live in caves."
Oh.
I'm so sorry, sir.
Is
I
there
don't quite understand what you mean by that.
I'm saying
I'm
there's something fishy here going on that compels the most stoic person I know to tears and wants to buy it. And then
and
when that feeling could subside when the professor here unfurls your little charm or whatever. Maybe you're not the one behind this, but somebody behind this is.
you do see his deception on that subtext does kind of flicker on his face when you mention Rasa's desire to purchase the piece.
Right.
But all other commentary that every conversation, every sentence, every word on the subject of emotion from art, his is plain as day on his face. He doesn't understand how you could not understand.
Right.
But there is a
Right.
glimmer of deception when you mention Rasa's desire to purchase the art.
He's going. It doesn't have, like, of all times not to have a circle of truth or whatever.
Yeah, I would also say after Aste said that there's something infecting the school, what words did you use?
He said
I said
lace.
that there was kind of magic all over all the art pieces, like something on them.
You told him to evacuate the school
Yes.
because
Because he
something was
said that,
infecting.
well, he said that
Yeah,
that
all of the
magic
magic is
wasn't
all of
allowed in
the.
the school.
Yeah.
And I was like, if that's the case, you better get everyone out of here because this isn't intended.
Okay.
And then
So,
specifically used the words "all of this art is laced with it" in association with magic.
Thank you.
yeah. So at some point also during this exchange, there is a shift and a concern on his face. Like he's now got this look over his shoulder back toward the door in the back of the. Is that a dog butt?
No, that's a cat butt.
A cat butt. Behind his counter, there's a door,
Here.
and he does seem to want to go to that door, and he does seem to be expressing or feeling some anxiety and concern. But again,
Dusk. You're seeing what I'm seeing, right?
I'm.
So I have a question for you then, Dusk. Do we go there or do we take him out to like the guards? What do you think?
Dusk is going to kind of weigh. It's like we're either going to make a. It just sort of weighing like exactly how much of a ruckus is about to start, and if he's going to he's going to cast command, and that command word is on Jorvin here. Jorvin, what's his name?
mm-hmm.
He's going to just lean down and whisper into his ear and cast it. Swim.
Oh Jesus!
What?
That's
Cool.
Dude, that's a little
Ashta's gonna give him a look like, what?
Tell me
He's
how
got to go
command
find
works.
water. He's got to go find water. It'll get him out of here.
Does he have a saving throw or anything?
Yes. Wisdom saving throw.
15?
15 fails. 16 is the save.
Oh no! Okay. So
In Dusk's
Dwarven,
head, he's thinking he's got to go find water, which will get him out of here. It'll give us a chance to get him out of this room.
yeah, so you're going to see a sense of panic cross his face. His eyes are going to dart toward that door. And he's going to look at Aste and he's going to say, I have to go. Please protect my children. And
this
walks
will
out the
last.
front door towards the water.
Oh my god.
So this lasts only 6 seconds. So he's got to. It basically lasts 6 seconds of him trying to find water. Is my assumption.
Oh, so yeah, he's going to spend 6 seconds walking out the front door toward the water.
And then I'll follow right behind him. So if he tries to get back in the door, I'll be blocking his path, and I'm gonna kind of nod to Aste to follow. He'll be all right.
I don't want to see what's behind that door, though.
When Maiev snapped out of it, she also burned a rage and brandished her axe, charging out the door to go find Rasa to help her.
And you find Rasa standing outside. By the time you get outside, Rasa, you probably have 0 emotion from the artwork. But whatever your reaction to those feelings and that artwork may be are your own, and you can decide how much they're affecting you.
There's probably quite a bit of embarrassment. And I don't know if she realizes that it was, manipulation, so to speak, that was causing her to possibly be that intense. So it'd probably just be more so embarrassment than anything else. So she would try to be calming herself, recollecting herself, and just composing oneself.
And I just want to remind you, the artwork itself only made you feel loss and grief.
Yep.
Any other emotions that you experienced were your own. Loss and grief are the only experience that you got from the artwork.
Not that little bit of rage?
Oh, yeah, sorry. There was a tiny bit of anger underneath it all. Yeah.
Okay.
But for the most part, it was loss and grief. And you could now, having stepped away from it, interpret that the rage that goes with that has to do with who killed the male in the portrait. Like if you were to ascribe the emotions to the artwork separate from your own personal experience of life, and try to apply those emotions strictly to the artwork, you would be able to apply the loss and grief to the woman having lost whoever this man is in the picture, and the anger at whoever took him from her.
Okay.
If you were to try and separate yourself from the emotions.
Yeah.
And try to figure out what is your emotion and what is the emotion that the art brought up in you.
Okay.
Sorry. I just wanted to make sure it was clear to you what my artwork gave you versus what Rasa built on her own as a reaction to it. Yeah.
Yeah, but I guess it makes sense that, how would those emotions filter into your
own personal psyche,
your character, right? Like,
yeah.
Because to feel loss, you're going to associate it with something, grief with something.
And how do they all relate? And that was the picture she came
up with in her
head. Yep.
Right. It sort of materializes into context that you bring to the table, which is an interesting concept here.
Yeah.
Look at this.
Which might be why Dusk was so bothered by the wolf. So it was just the emotion was just frustration and like determination. But for you, it turned into something else.
Yeah. It's sort of like, why am I frustrated?
Yep. Okay, so we're outside, out front of the gallery. Everybody's emotions from their art pieces are dwindling. Maiev and Samity both are still kind of itching to get back in there. Like they want to go get their thing that they want to take home with them.
Would you two settle down? Okay, hang on. Sorry. First of all, and then he's gonna make direct eye contact with
Did you
Rasa.
see it?
No, I didn't. That's the point. Rasa, I'm sorry. I don't like doing that to people, but I know that you were feeling an extreme emotion, and an extremer emotion can override, and I needed to get you away from that thing.
No apologies
No,
necessary.
okay, I'm making sure. I'm making sure. Maiev, same thing. I don't like raising my voice. I'm not a confrontational person.
And Samity's
It
just
was
going to
so
wander over to
cute.
Foggy and wrap her arms around him. It's okay, Foggy. It's okay. It's okay. You were just trying to take care of us, but now could you pitch in because we really want it? It's expensive, but I
So
want
cool.
it.
It
And
would
Can I
look
have it?
so great in as soon as we walk in.
Should I
Yeah.
try?
Can you help me out here?
Yeah, let's see what I
I
can
was
do.
gonna say, whatever you
Because,
did for
and then he looks down to Samity because, no offense, ma'am, this cheesemaker is desperately begging for thousands of gold with which to buy
Yeah.
a piece of art,
Well, I don't think
and that
it's because
doesn't
he
make
thinks
sense to me.
that's good. Something
Sid.
tells me it's not because
Because you didn't look at it, Foggy. It made the rainbows, and then when I had the mirror and I made the rainbows move, that's really cool, wasn't it, Sammy? And it was just so sweet and so nice and so happy.
Foggy is just letting every word she's saying turn into what.
All right. Which one should we dispel first?
let's. Dusk would nod at Maya first because she's.
She actually has money.
Yeah.
First
She could actually buy the thing, but
And
Dusk will be
and like
focused on Jorvan mostly, just because he's gonna wear this spell will wear off in a second. He'll know that.
4. Okay, so let's see. It's 3.
and Snaps has that drum now, so it would make all kinds
19.
of cool music.
19 on dispel.
And
19 on dispel.
19
Maiev,
on
you
dispel,
still
miss.
feel all those things. You still think it's cool as hell, but the desire to purchase it is much less important now.
and
But
although I don't really like that it's a dragon. Maybe we can get them to make one that's not a
Maiev?
dragon.
But tell me, Maiev, is it worth
Yeah.
7,000 gold? I wouldn't think as much.
What's wrong with
Is that a lot?
dragons?
Yes, it is
Yes,
very
that's a lot.
much.
Well, I mean, when we were in that cave, I had like a really, really, really scary thing happen, and the dragon just kind of like burned everybody. And then there was the time with the stumble pump lady that wasn't a lady, but she was a dragonborn, and I don't know.
Maiev,
Oh,
I
I
know you're a
almost
little
died.
confused. I know you almost died. I'm talking about the right now.
I'm always confused.
The dragon had magic in it, and it fucked with you.
Don't dragons usually have magic? Rasa has magic.
Yes, but that was a piece of art, dragon, and pieces of art shouldn't have magic.
well, that's
Oh.
they shouldn't have
Yeah,
malicious
yeah,
make you
yeah,
want to
yeah,
buy it
yeah.
magic.
I'm dumbing it down a little bit
Yes.
for ease of
Fair enough,
information
fair enough.
absorption. You needn't feel
Alright.
bad, Maiev. It
No,
could have happened to anybody, as I'm sure it has to dozens of other wealthy patrons that happen to walk in there, see the thing that they desire the most in the world, and then walk out with it.
So
That
by
being said,
now, Jorvan has stopped trying to get to the water
oh
and
boy.
has turned around and is sheepishly walking back toward the group.
And I'm going to intercept him and say, motion for him to have a seat. If there's a place to sit down,
He'll
that's
sit
even
on the
without-
edge of that fountain that's right outside
Perfect.
the gallery.
Right.
Fantastic. Let's talk.
Uh,
Now, one last thing before we talk. I do need to still
yes.
dispel somebody.
Oh, yeah, help Samity. Sorry, she's sitting here clinging to my hip like a child. Get her off me.
And Samity is just looking up at Aste and answering the question, well, yes, it's definitely worth that. However much gold that is, it's definitely worth that much.
Oh,
It's
Lord.
so
Then
worth
after a
it.
23 to
It
spell.
makes me feel so happy. And it's a 23 to spell?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, and it makes me feel so happy, and it's there's a lot of times that I don't feel happy. I mean, if I think about what happened before I joined you guys, I don't feel happy. But you saved me, and that makes me happy. But that made me really happy, and I think it's worth it. Although I understand if you don't want to have it, it's okay.
That's a better gem.
There
It's
we
expensive. Good.
Yeah.
But really,
Nobody else has
you should feel that happy just once. You really should.
Someday I will.
Maybe. We'll see.
And she lets go of Foggy and goes over to Maev and sort of grabs onto her, like, how are we ever going to feel that happy ever again?
Oh no.
Oh,
Oh,
Maya was just gonna kind of like tuck her in.
that's the worst one of them all.
So,
It's not the one that makes you feel bad or sad or angry. It's the one that makes you feel happy. That's the most insidious.
It turned out to be the one you ate the most. Great.
so Dusk, I will leave the roughhousing to you.
Right. Righteous fury that is. Jorvin, my good friend.
Yes, sir.
Funny old pal.
I'm a little concerned about the students. Your friend here seems to think that something bad is happening at the school.
Well, when one feels compelled to drop a small fortune on some art, yes, it's a problem.
Well, okay. Look, I know that there is a little something weird about people sometimes want to buy things they can't afford, and I've always wondered if there was something not quite right about that. But what concerns me is the students. Your friend seems to think that there's some sort of magic affecting the students, and there can't be. There's no magic allowed on campus. But
says who?
I mean, the headmaster did. It's strictly forbidden.
Right. Forbidden from even being used by their professors that use magic, or the teachers, the headmaster himself.
There is a teleportation circle, but it is only permitted to be used by the Word Hurl Academy when they send wizards over to help. Well, they come here to assist our students with auditory skills in imbuing their art into objects such as this stone that your friend here, that stone that your friend held up to her ear and was able to hear the auditory art. The Ward Hurl Academy would have sent someone to assist a student in imbuing the object with their skill, but that is the only magic allowed on campus, is the teleportation circle and the Ward Hurl's Academy personnel assisting in that particular task.
That particular sentence. Insight check.
Great. I will roll your insight and you will tell me what to add.
+2.
It doesn't matter what you add. Absolutely. This man genuinely, wholeheartedly, head to toe, confident that what he has said, that sentence in particular, is exactly what he believes. Magic does not happen on that.
Is the Ward Hurls teleporting in specifically to help students put a little bit of gentle magic into their art?
Well, in imbuing an object with the art, with the auditory art. So the enchantment of a rock so that it can play back the sounds that the students make.
Gotcha. Okay. So yeah, this is above him on the ladder then. Which
he is confident that is the only magic that ever happens on campus.
This is above you on the ladder, man. Oh no. Well, now I feel ever so slightly bad for making him feel bad. Only a little.
Look,
but...
There is no magic allowed on campus. So if magic is happening, I think that the headmaster needs to be notified. And like your friend here suggested, we need to get the students out.
Yeah, let's do that. You have the authority to go talk to the headmaster and say, "Hey, some weird shit's going down. It was discovered by some people who happened to be in town." You have the authority to get us that high on the ladder. Yes.
Of course. I will go get Bakambe now. Please wait here, or you could wait inside. But I know that some of you are uncomfortable with the art itself, and you could wait out here. I'm going to go get Headmaster Bakambe. I'll be right back.
Are we following him, despite what he
We
just told
should
to us?
probably
I
go,
say
we
out
should-
loud while he's still
As
in
long as
earshot.
we don't look, as long as we don't look at the pieces, I think we might be okay.
Like I prefer to be escorted
Are we-
directly
I was gonna say,
there.
are we
than
okay to be escorted to them instead? Out of genuine
You've
concern for the situation.
Jorvan, you've given me a sense that you're not 100% to be trusted. And maybe that's not your fault. Maybe you're just trying to be the front end of a business of sorts
Well,
because they're trying to.
Okay, look, I know that sometimes people seem unnaturally desirous of purchasing something that they technically can't afford, and
what do
I've
they do?
allowed that to happen. I've allowed it to happen because it does support the students who couldn't afford to be here otherwise.
So when someone comes in here, like one of those poor fellas from the further south side of the town, comes drunkenly wandering over here and gets this urge to buy one of these pieces, and they've only got 5 copper to their name, what do you do?
I have to tell them I'm terribly sorry. They can't have it if they can't pay.
Do you want?
And then what do they
after
do?
that dusk? The
What's
They
that?
are very sad when they
mentally
leave.
The enchantment
Wait, what?
mentally rips them apart until they can't stand it anymore. That's what happens.
They get sad and then they leave willingly?
Well, yeah, I'm not going to let them take it if they can't pay.
Insight check on the whole willingly part. Confirming that they leave willingly.
Yeah, you could roll it again if you want, but I will tell he's not trying to be deceptive in this matter.
Okay.
He's now fully admitted that he knows some sort of hijinks is involved in people wanting to buy something they can't afford, and he has allowed that to be the case and not done anything about it because it supports his students that he obviously cherishes.
Right.
And so on the occasion that someone can't afford and can't come up with the money, he just lets them leave, and they are sad that they can't have what they want. But you can't always get what you want.
You can't always be.
Yeah.
You know the
Okay.
most upsetting
At
part
least
about all
he's
of
not
this?
begging them to sell their fucking house to buy art.
Yeah.
Right.
The most
Because that
upsetting
would have been really bad if that were the case.
What is
Well, and the majority of people who come into this gallery are coming off those very wealthy, well-to-do boats
Yeah.
on the
Right.
north.
These people who
you
could
know,
drop 15,000 gold and have it not really affect their bank account.
yeah, or their children are students of this school, and they've already paid the enormous tuition and purchasing a piece of artwork for a large sum of money that then they get reimbursed if it's their kid. It's.
Yeah.
Feels a little pyramidy to me.
Professor, did you want to say something? I wasn't sure.
I did. I said the worst part about all of this. I was really about to buy that vase if it wasn't such a scummy practice.
And he looks so sad about it. And he says the vase with the fruit.
The vase with the fruit makes you feel real good. Yeah. I don't think I'll be buying that anymore.
Oh, but the student, the student, it will pay their tuition
How
and
does
their
one
room and
become a
board.
student at this school?
Well, they're I guess I would normally have Headmaster Bakambe explain, but it's a
Normally.
it's a recruitment tuition scholarship situation. Anyone can refer an artistic student or person to be considered. And if they can afford to travel here, and after an interview they seem to be a good fit for the school, then their family financials could be reviewed and tuition might be reduced. There might be a scholarship, which obviously the gallery items that they produce while as students are sold in the gallery to pay their tuition. And it sort of all works out.
So it seems like there's a difference between the emotions these pieces give us and the urge to drop all of our money on these pieces. So I'm thinking there's two different things afoot, and you're probably not the one to know about it, and that's fine. There's enough of your awareness that earlier you were trying to be a little sheepish about it. So why don't we accompany you to the headmaster's office? And we'll get to the bottom of this toot sweet.
Yes. Whatever you think of me, whatever you think of whatever is happening, if this gentleman is convinced that there is magic affecting these students, I would like to take you into the campus to meet the headmaster to figure it out, because that's bad. The children are not supposed to be harassed by magic in any way. They are supposed to be allowed to freely experience their creativity, unencumbered and unaffected.
Well, I'm unsure if it's the students that are into the magic. I just said the art pieces were laced with it, and it's affecting the customers. So someone's putting magic on the art pieces.
Either way, it's
And
something to talk to the headmaster about.
Yeah, the look on his face is completely blank because, again, he still doesn't understand what you truly mean, because art makes emotion. That's a fact in his world.
Yeah.
Art creates emotion. And this particular school produces the most affecting art he has ever experienced in his life. And so he has a higher parental guardian relationship with these students than one might expect.
Yes, but then somebody's putting magical effects that hurt into this, or I like to call it meth.
Magical effects that hurt meth. You
That hurt.
motherfucker.
Oh boy.
Oh,
Meth would make you buy a $7,000 dragon sculpture, huh?
Lord almighty.
You got people scratching their arms outside saying, "You got any of them sculptures of them wolves?"
Exactly.
Oh, Desk and his one-liners.
All right.
But we'll get to the bottom of this. I'm sure, given your genuine concern and all of that, I believe you're not somebody who wants to hurt anybody or put anybody into the poorhouse. And given the clientele that you normally have, you probably don't have that problem. But I'm sure occasionally there's somebody in here who can afford these things, these pieces of art, and that's all they got.
Oh no.
Are we
What
following
have I
this
done?
guy?
So let's take us away to your master's office.
Yeah.
Snaps would try to catch Rasa's eye and tap her temple, just
She'll pick up
when the
that.
guy's maybe not looking at her.
She'll pick up that cue and figure out exactly how many people. Hold on. Where
But
is
before
it?
we do that, is the DM okay? She said oh no about something.
Oh no.
I am missing an image, but I will find it while you two are talking. Go ahead.
Yep. Give me a minute. I have to figure out how many.
D8, right?
Is
No.
it a D8?
I thought I saw it. No.
Yeah, it's a D8.
Yeah.
Okay, give me a minute. I have to find dice.
Wait, if meth is magical effects, does that make Aste a meth dealer?
Well, the good news is that we have it for 8 hours. 8 hours of whispers. It would definitely
You're
be.
the Heisenberg of the magic.
It would be definitely with
Of good.
Snaps and Maiev. I know Maiev has a connection with Foggy, so Foggy would not be included.
So what about Sammy? We're doing Sammy in this. Like, come along, Sammy, into the.
So then it would be the other two. So Foggy would be the only one not connected to me with whispers, but that's only because Maiev always talks to Foggy in his head.
Mm-hmm.
So she just kind of is under the assumption that that's covered. And we have 8 hours of whispers up.
8 hours. Because I don't want to say this in front of the guy, but we've heard rumors about sparks being drained and something or someone being emptied, and that the students are weird and empty. What if they're being emptied into these paintings and sold?
This is truly just 2 snaps, but that's a really fucking dark thought. And then she will radio that out, going, dark thought incoming. Snaps wants to know, based on the descriptions of the students we've heard, if it is in fact their souls being put into the paintings that are then being sold.
And
Dusk will
Maiev
sigh audibly in his head. Dusk will sigh in his
And-
head.
All of this in your head's conversation is happening as you're following Jorvin back into the gallery?
Sounds that way.
Yeah,
Okay.
and Maiev has like tightened her grip on her axe as she's radioing over to Foggy.
That would make a lot of sense, actually, because what I saw was magical, but it wasn't any school. So that would really only be
Souls or emotions or something along those lines. Something is being taken from them.
yes.
Look at that.
That
Teeth.
yes.
And there's probably like a weird echo as Maiev tries to respond to the whispers and to Foggy at the same time and say that the girl whose name player cannot remember was saying that the kids start out fine and then they're different, and that sounds a lot like the rumors, and oh, I might need to kill somebody.
We all might.
About to pop a cap on somebody's butt.
Well, we've got 2 Knights of the Amethyst Order and friends
do.
rolling up in here
Yup.
with students of unknown age being in danger.
Yeah, we do.
Hell yeah.
And I am
gonna
unsure
be able
if
to come
Foggy
into this
has
town
ever
again.
heard the oath.
Oh yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
we got a
if
lot of
Foggy-
mileage out of that whole little opening salvo I did.
I want to say Foggy's heard the full thing at least once, and yeah. Player
Yeah,
hasn't heard
he's
it in
gonna.
like a year. Can somebody drop it back in chat again?
Give Will a second. He'll find it.
Was pinned somewhere. Pinned messages. Nope, not there.
Was it not pinned? It has been in chat before.
Oh my god, where did it go?
We got
I
it.
give my word to the sisterhood. Yeah.
Yeah, that will be the light liberating the little, the shield sheltering the small, and the hand hammering the harmful.
Oh yeah, no, that's awful. That's amazing, and yeah, no, this is awful.
Yeah, and as we're continuing to wander for the length of the however long, I can't even recall at the psychic connection that she has with Foggy, for the remainder of the 2 minutes, he just hears her saying that over
On a
and
loop.
over.
Yeah.
Over.
Okay.
Foggy's
So-
just gonna let those words wash over him, and he's just squeezing fists.
We're all just simmering in rage as we're following this guy.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
they done pissed off the wrong party.
And you're following behind a little guy who is quaking in his boots, as much about the angry people that are following him as the safety of the students who he obviously cherishes. And he'll
And this
usher
poor
you.
guy has no.
Yeah, he'll usher you back into the gallery and past all of the artwork. I assume you're all going to be staring at your shoes as you pass through. And the door behind his desk, he will open it and invite you to pass through it. And you whatever. I am missing some descriptors here.
And some stuff and some things.
Yeah, long. Okay. At the end of this hallway, he opens a door and leads you outside by way of a very long, winding path through a garden. You are approaching the campus, and you're all welcome to zoom in on the map. So this is the garden area, and you're following this path down, which I drew a straight line, but it's a long, windy path apparently in my text. And there are gardens all around you, and the campus and the dorms. What you see is a great big circular building in the center. Off to each side, there are two identical buildings that are obviously dormitory-like, where the windows are very close together, 2 stories high. And there's just lots of lush greenery and little sitting areas in and amongst the plants and flowers, where periodically you see a young person sitting with an easel and painting an image of a flower or a bush or a tree that they are looking at. And somewhere else you see someone with a sketchbook and a pencil doing a charcoal drawing of some piece of plant life in the garden. And he's leading you toward this central circular structure. I need to know how long your detect magic works.
Mine would have
I think it's
worn.
10 minutes. I think it's 10
Yeah,
minutes.
it's 10 minutes per cast.
Yeah, we would have lost it by now. Okay, cool. So you are led into this big circular building. As you enter, it is an enormous tundra space. The walls are lined with great big huge portraits of men and women with weird fluffy fabrical folded chunks of fabric hats on their heads. And you are greeted by Jorvin hollering, "Oh, Headmaster Bakambe, sir, sir, sir." And there was a gentleman who had been passing through this main area who stops walking and turns toward Jorvin and approaches. "What can I do for you, Jorvin? Who are these fine folks? Do we have a student that needs an interview?" This gentleman is well over 6 feet tall. He is wearing huge, voluminous robes of dark blue brushed fabric, something like velvet. He has an odd folded fabric structure on top of his head that matches the robes, which clearly is supposed to somehow be an indication of his status or level of education. And he stops and asks Jorvin, what's up? Do we have a student that needs an interview, or is this family visiting someone? Do we need a tour?
A tour would be grand, actually. If he's looking over at his friends' party, a tour sounds pretty good, right?
And
Yeah, that's a word for it.
unless you're going to stop him, Jorvin's going to respond.
Jorvin, I think we got it from here, pal.
Well, I'm concerned about the. Do you look scary?
I'm going to definitely kind of put my hand on his shoulder and just say, our concerns are your concerns.
Your concerns are ours.
Your concerns are our concerns. And
Well,
wouldn't want the front to be unattended for too long, would you?
Right. Yes. Okay. Well, this is Headmaster Bakambe. I'll leave you in his capable hands. Thank you, Headmaster. I'll be at the gallery. Thank you. And he'll turn and head back toward the gallery, but look over his shoulder back at you with this look of sincere worry on his face.
Okay.
And Bakambe says, "Well, I'd love to get you to a tour. Is there a student in particular who attends the school and you've come to see where they study, or are you possibly surveying options for your children?"
Of course. He's not going to answer specifically, just going to say, of course. I did have an interest in meeting the artist of some of those pieces that we witnessed in the gallery, if that wasn't too much trouble.
Oh, certainly. Which piece was most interesting to you?
And I'm going to look over to Asta and say, Professor, what do you think would be the most interesting student to interview or talk to?
There's a few, but I'm not even sure it's. And he like looks towards Dusk, knowing that the two that we're speaking aren't really going to get this. He says, "I'm not sure it's the students doing it."
Oh,
But if we have to start there, I suppose, what was the piece that Rasa was looking at? Or Maev. Either or, really. Actually, let's start with the
Rasa
one
was
Maev.
looking at Lyriel and Fordor, and Maev was looking at something called Lightning.
I think the Artist of Lightning would be the one we should look at first.
I think it'd be grand. Yeah, and as we go, you could explain more about this place and why would students come here, and are there others, versus a different school or something. Give us your pitch here, Headmaster, sir.
Well, the school is a safe space for students to express their creativity and their art in whatever form they find pleasing. We do offer a lot of cross training with our students. So a glassmaker who would have made lightning would also be training with charcoal, or today I think he is in the painting class with oils today. But I'm going to take you that way, and we'll see if he's in that room.
Oh, sure.
Please.
His name is Lucas. He's a very, very clever young man. And insisting students imagine. Okay, so as you pass through the library, you see a huge portrait of a short man with tan skin and dark hair. He has similar robes to Mr. Bakambe and the same weird ass hat. And Headmaster Bakambe will point to it, and it is an enormous, like 6 foot tall by 5 foot wide portrait, or 4 feet wide. One of those huge library portraits that takes up the whole upper floor wall. And he gestures to it and he says, this would be our Jamal Farid. He actually founded the school. He was the very first artist to settle here in Salt End Landing. And it is he who brought this school to what it is today. And then as you pass through the library, he will lead you off into one of the classrooms in this building here. AAMAL. How do you spell his last name? Farid. Big portrait. He's got this weird similar stuff and the same unusual pile of fabric on his head. He tells you that he's the school founder, originally from Zakara, which is a giant peninsula of the same supercontinent that hosts Faerun. Unlike his kinsman, he was destined to travel the world and create many famous works of art before settling here with the views of the Pireless Sea, which pleased him the most. And he was known best for his realistic paintings and sensual sculptures. And then he will lead you into a classroom, and you're just getting a proper formal tour. Like the dude has no idea that you people are having a problem. He's just giving you the tour. He walks you into a classroom. He kind of shushes you a little bit because he doesn't want the students to be disturbed. And he starts speaking in a very hushed tone. You see students of various ages painting on several types of surfaces under the guidance of a female teacher, appears to be an elf. She seems genuinely proud of her students and quite fond and maternal toward them if you watch how she interacts with them. Snaps, can I have a perception check from you?
Yes. Perception. It's 11.
You only needed a 10 because it's pretty easy to recognize the lady you saw in the bar just 2 days ago, day before yesterday or yesterday.
Yesterday.
She looks, yeah, she was talking to a baker. Some dude covered in flour the other day. And you hear her, she's hunkered down and she's talking to one of the girls. And the girl she's talking to is almost an adult, really. And she says to the girl, "This is technically excellent, but it doesn't express your passions like the last one. Are you feeling all right, Winnie?" And the little girl just says, the young lady says, "I'm doing my best. I think it looks nice. I mean, I guess it looks nice." Yeah. And she turns back and starts painting again.
Can I do an insight check into this interaction and this girl? Is she there's something weird that I notice about her?
Just is something.
What do I add to your insight?
My insight is +7.
Wow. Okay.
Woohoo!
That's pretty insightful shit there you got. So tell me again, I'm sorry, what are you paying attention to?
This interaction, but because I know that this lady is potentially worried about the students, I'm not so concerned about her, but focusing on the young woman, the student, and is there something weird that I notice?
Yeah, well, I mean, it kind of depends on how much you know about young adults or older teenagers and their personalities. She will respond to her teacher with a respectful tone. She'll be very polite in her responses, but kind of bland. She's not sad, just sort of matter of facty. I'm doing the best I can. I think it looks nice.
Considering Snaps does have that little brother figure who's like a teenager.
Yeah, just sort of flat and boring, not dismissive, not disrespectful, just sort of, whatever. Yep, sure. I'm
Certainly not
painting it.
passionate.
Certainly not passionate. And she doesn't seem terribly bothered by the fact that her teacher thinks it doesn't have much passion. She's just painting a flower. Whatever.
Say
It's a very whatever kind of thing. Not a flippant thing, but a whatever. It's just, it is
Not-
what it is.
Not caring one way or another.
Yeah, just sort of flat. And the painting, honestly, is beautiful. It's a beautiful image of a flower. It's very realistic.
Okay.
Does anyone else here have detect? Is the question.
I have detect magic.
He's gonna like. Then he says that out loud, right? Yeah,
Not through the heads or.
No,
Sorry,
well,
one more time. What did
I
Aste say?
I guess if I can do it through mind words, I
You
will.
can speak in your
Through my-
mind to Rasa, who can then
I play
speak to
telephone.
others.
Okay. Then I would direct the message to us to be like, does anyone else here have detect magic? I'm getting some really cracked out vibes here.
Please hold. Dusky!
Right.
Please hold.
Professor wants to know detect magic. Is that the thingy that you do, or is that the thingy Snappy does?
You can do it. I forget if Snaps can do it.
I don't know. I don't know you magic speak. Do the magic-y stuff.
Okay. Right now?
I don't know. He thinks there's something going on.
You seeing something fucky's going on?
Yeah.
I can see that. Dusk will. How close are we to this artist in question?
The student Winnie?
Yeah, student Winnie.
Oh, probably 5-10 feet away.
Okay. And how old is Winnie roughly, judging from what I can tell? Granted, I'm in
17, 18,
17.
maybe 19. Yeah. Young adult.
I'm just gonna kind of walk over and kind of stoop. Is she standing or sitting?
Standing in front of her easel.
Standing. I'm just gonna sort of respectfully kind of walk up and I'm gonna visibly admire the art.
I will
And,
tell you that in doing so,
Oh,
it is a very realistic image of a flower. It is a tulip, just a single tulip on a very healthy, sturdy stem. It tips over to the left just slightly, as if maybe the sun is off the edge of the canvas to the left. It is a bright red tulip. And as you gaze upon it, you do experience a minor emotional response to it as sort of kind of like a hug from your mom. If you
Oh,
can
God.
remember what your mom's hugs feel like.
Maybe it
a
triggers
a general sense of comfort, like it is giving you comfort.
Okay, because I was gonna say maybe this actually like unlocks that little corner of his memory that's like, oh, that was what it was like to be hugged by your mom.
Yeah, sure.
Oh no. So Dusk is going to have some tears forming in his eyes, and he's going to kind of say to Winnie, "Oh, that's beautiful, love. That's wonderful."
Well,
There's
I'm glad you like it, mister.
There's definitely mind stuff going on. Going, dude, what the fuck?
His head is like, oh, this is fucky, all right. It's like, I just remembered what it was like to be hugged by me mom. That's fucked up. and he's going to say,
Did you say any of that out loud?
No, that was in
that was in your head. Okay, cool.
Yeah. And he's going to say to her, where are you from? You're so talented. To Winnie.
Oh, my family is in forgive me, I can't remember the names of places somewhere on the Sword Coast. Name some places on the Sword Coast.
There's
bigger towns, bigger cities.
Daggerford's big but not huge. Waterford is Water's deep. Waterdeep, geez, is one of the bigger ones.
Yeah, my family's from Waterdeep.
Oh, Waterdeep.
Yeah.
I've never been. I don't think.
My hypothesis is changing.
But I gotta say, where did this talent come from? Did you always have it, or did you start off as a novice? And how long have you been here?
So Emuriel is the teacher, is scooting just slightly closer to her student to be not in your space, across from you. So the student is between the two of you. And she's got her hand behind the child, but has not laid hand on her, but is prepared to comfort her if she needs comfort, and is periodically looking at the headmaster to make sure that she doesn't need to stop this engagement. Like, it's clear that the teacher is prepared to protect this child if you cross some sort of line, but is doing nothing more than being prepared to protect the child.
And I'm giving as like a warm, open posture as possible, just sort of.
Yeah. And Winnie will say that I started to draw things when I was little. My uncle noticed that and encouraged me to do it because he liked to draw. And by the time I was learning to read and write, my drawings were good enough that my family thought maybe I was doing something special. And so they sent me to work with a special tutor in Waterdeep. And they worked with me, and I learned to read and write, and I learned all the book things that you have to learn. But they also encouraged me to work with charcoal, and then I worked some with chalk on slate, which was really fun. And then I eventually started working with watercolors and now oil. Since I've been here at the school, I've been here about 3 years now, and my skills have really improved. And so, lots of my pictures are much more exciting and interesting and what's that word? And the teacher then leans in a little bit and says engaging. Engaging, yeah, they're more engaging than they were when I was younger, I guess.
Well, 3 years is a long time.
Yeah, her entire spiel was very relaying a series of facts to you. She didn't seem excited about any of it. She didn't seem to have fond memories of any of it. She didn't even really have a fond reaction to remembering a thought about her uncle. It was all very flat and drab. Answer on a game show.
And Dusk would say, well, your piece moved me, I have to say. Do you ever get moved by your fellow students' art too?
Sometimes, if you are open to it, you can sometimes feel what the other students were thinking or feeling when they made their art. You can, like Lucas over there, he made this one dragony glass thing when he was in the glass class.
I believe it was lightning, wasn't it? Wasn't that the term?
Yeah, the dragony one is called, I think he called it lightning, and it was really pretty. And when you look at it, sometimes you can like almost feel how happy he was when he was making it.
And so what were you thinking of when you have been painting this piece here?
I don't know, I guess I was kind of homesick. I haven't seen my mom in a long time.
Neither have I, to be truthful. Neither have I.
Did you ever do detect magic, or you just?
I haven't done it yet.
Okay.
I just wanted to talk with her and see what her deal was. And I appreciate the appreciate that though, that feeling.
Yeah, she always gave the bestest hugs, I guess. I
Mine
haven't
too.
had that in a long time. And then that's when Muriel lays her hand on the girl and gives her a little squeeze.
And Dusk is going to kind of bring himself up to full height. Kind of, he might have been stooping a little. And he'll cast detect. He's gonna take a step back and to the back of the crowd and just say, "Does anyone else want to compliment this wonderful young lady's art?" And he's going to cast detect magic as he steps behind the crowd.
So, what does detect magic require?
What does it look like?
Detect magic is
You gotta
a
move and you gotta speak.
You got to do both.
Yeah.
Verbal somatic.
Yeah, so I would definitely.
I have cast, so I could, if I needed to, do that. But
Yeah, so Headmaster would stop you as soon as anything even remotely looked like magic was happening and interrupt. And Muriel also would raise a hand, but the look on her face is slightly different from that of the Headmaster. So the Headmaster is going to wave his arms and stop you that we do not allow anyone in any way to influence our students with magic. Our students are allowed to express themselves unencumbered and unaffected by outside sources, and we will not allow it, sir. I'm terribly sorry. And if you send a student here, they would have the same protection that I am giving to Winnie now. I will not permit this.
You're not going to permit me to detect what kind of influence is
There
playing
will
with
be
my
no
emotions?
magic. There is no magic happening here.
then why
It
not
is
let her
not
through?
permitted.
Do you have?
What is the expression on the teacher's face?
Yeah, what's the? Yeah,
You
yeah.
said she
The
was different.
teacher's, yeah, the teacher is, her eyes are flitting from the headmaster to Dusk, and then the rest of you, while the headmaster is focused on Dusk. So she's headmaster, Dusk, and then scanning the rest of you to see if she can catch anybody's eye, and then back to the headmaster,
Oh,
and then scanning you
Rasa,
guys
is
to see
looking
if
at
she
her.
can
Rasa
catch
will
anybody's
pick
eye.
that up as fast as she can.
And she's just going to look at you, and her eyes will get a little wider.
And Maev's like holding her necklace from the tomb, and she's like locked eyes with the teacher.
Yeah, and she's just going to stare right back at you.
At that point,
And
Rasa would.
Snaps.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say Snaps is telling Rasa that that lady knows that there's a spark missing. She's the one I heard in the tavern. She's concerned about these students.
Teacher knows something.
Headmaster,
She's concerned about something happening.
If there's anything I can do, let me know.
Dusky?
yes. In your head, I assume.
Yep. Can you draw Headmaster away a little bit?
Right. Okay. Then I'm going to say to Headmaster. Headmaster, let's walk and talk then. So I don't want to disturb the students, but I would like to have a more private talk with you over here, off to the side, outside, wherever you're more comfortable.
Anywhere to get you away from my students until you understand that magic will not be permitted. I will
would love to
this
talk to
way,
you more
sir.
about this.
And he'll lead you back out into the library.
I will definitely go out.
Yeah,
Yep.
and you're going to stand there and listen to him extol the virtues of protecting these children from any sort of outside influence. They need to be allowed to produce their art and the magic that is in their spirits onto canvas, into the stone, into the wood. It is the joy and simplicity of creation, blah, 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 blah.
At that point, Rasa would wave the rest of our group slightly away, just to try and give the teacher a little bit of ease of mind, and then would ask, could I have a quick moment with you, just a little way so we're not disturbing your student?
And she's got eyeballs at the door
Mhm.
where the headmaster just went, and a hand in her apron. And she pulls her hand out of her apron, and she's holding a dusty old book. And she just sort of pushes it out toward you.
I take it and I say, I am Rosavirio. I am part of the Order of Amethyst. I have sworn to protect the young.
And Maiev would have stayed next to you and would have introduced herself as well. In kind.
I appreciate that. I assume you have a student that's considering coming to the school, and I don't want to ruffle any feathers or do it, but there's something weird. I've only
I
been
don't
here
have.
for a year, and there's something different that's happening here. I don't quite understand it, but I found this, and you should read it.
I take the book and I instantly kind of like tuck it away so that way headmaster doesn't know that I have it. I don't have a student that is looking to come here. I am here because I'm worried about the students.
Okay. Me too. I don't. It might be in my imagination, but it seems weird, and so I was sort of snooping around, and I found this. It's an old diary written by the founder of the school, and I think there might be something hidden underneath the school, but I don't know if Bakambe knows about it.
I appreciate all of this information. We will work our hardest to make sure these students are safe. Thank you. I truly appreciate it. If you ever come across anything else, don't go out of your way. I don't want you to get in trouble or get in danger. But if you can send a note to whatever place we're staying. I will be staying there until this is resolved.
And she expresses gratitude. She's very grateful. And if you come at night to the gate west of the gallery, that's where the Wart Hurl guys come in and out. If you tell me when you're coming, I can meet you and let you in.
Absolutely.
Mr. Bakambi goes home at 4:15. You promise you're not going to hurt my girls or my students?
Absolutely not. I have sworn to protect them.
In the library, Bakambe's going off. He's offended at any suggestion that anything is and that the school, there's no way that the school is anything but the perfect atmosphere for creativity and learning. Rumor mongering will not be tolerated. It is clear that you have some concerns, but we're not having magic here. It's not allowed.
But would you use it on a boat if you need to float? Would you in the rain?
And Maiev would have recited the oath for the teacher before Rasa and I walked away.
Like, I heard there's magic that can help clean your arse if it, let's say one of your students had a bad case of, I don't know, explosive diarrhea or something, and it's keeping them from their artistic studies. You wouldn't use magic to help them out?
If someone were to need medical attention, I would definitely take them off campus to wherever they need to go for medical attention. We have services with the Alchemist, and he names a couple of the businesses in town.
Oh, right. Right. So, if you needed magic services,
we can do that off campus, but not on my campus. My students
on your campus.
Here at school are protected from the use of magic.
Right.
It's just not allowed.
And do you have any kind of relationship with that place out there on the water, that academy, the Worth Hurl, is it called? Worth Hurl? I forget how you say his name.
The
There,
Warthurl Academy, sir? Yes,
Worth
the
Hurl
wizards
Academy,
there.
that's right.
Yes, the wizards there do assist us. We do have a teleportation circle here on campus, but it is the only magic that is permitted. They can
Right.
teleport in and out, and they come to assist my auditory students with enchantments, but that is all. They are very
imagine
closely
so.
supervised when they are here and when they are working.
I appreciate the very thorough description of your policy. Let's go see what my comrades are, if they're done admiring all of the wonderful artwork that your students are producing.
And he'll walk back into the classroom with you.
Dusk is going to have that kind of look on his face, like just blowing his cheeks out, just like, get a load of this guy.
As soon as he is back, Dusky or Maiev would have said, "Well done, Dusky. We've got what we need."
Roger that. Let's get the folk out of here then. Well, it was very nice of your tour. I will have to relay some information back to those who would love to know, before they send prospective students your way. So, my dear headmaster, would you mind showing us the way out, or would you like us to find our own way?
Oh, yeah, he'll escort you out. I'm sorry, I was reading something. Yes, he will escort you out toward the door to the gallery, and you'll find that Jorvin is standing there quaking in his boots, waiting to see what happens. And he says, there's a slow, a quick interaction between Jorvin and Bakambe, and he brings you, Jorvin sort of waves you back into the gallery and shuts the door. And looks at you expectantly like, well, what'd you find out?
And go ahead.
Just because I don't know if you saw it, Mother, before he departed when he left us with the headmaster, he heard Mayev's voice in his head, the Jorgen guy, and she
Yeah.
recited the oath to him.
Yeah, cool. So he knows you're about taking care of children.
Yes.
Yeah. So he just looks at you like, well, what did you figure out? Are my kids okay? Are the kids safe?
If no one else wants to jump in, I'll be happy to talk. But I've done a lot of talking.
I think Maiev would probably just lock eyes with him and we have some light reading to do, but they will be just fine.
On the way out, Dusk will just put his hand on his shoulder and say, "You're a good man, Darvin. I misjudged you at first."
Thank you, sir. Whatever you can do to keep my children safe. That's all I'm interested in, keeping the children safe. They're magical creatures, and they're wonderful and beautiful, and their spirits are engaging, and they just keep them safe.
I thought you said magic wasn't all. I'm just kidding.
He's gonna roll his eyes at you. You know what I mean.
Well, leave that to us. We'll see if we can convince the headmaster of some changes, perhaps. But that's for another day. In the meantime, they're right as rain in there.
I think at this point, Rasa would be getting impatient and want to be going back to the hotel already.
So, are you headed back to the Cerulean View for supper and coming back after dark?
Regroup.
Mainly drop off Samity, do a little bit of speed reading if at all possible. before we
can
head
probably
back to
speed
the
read.
door.
Okay. Well, it is 11:58 p.m. I need to know how much longer you want to go.
Well, how long would it take to find out what's in the book? Because
I actually, it would take an instant to find out what's in the book if you crack it open as soon as you get to the hotel.
sure, well, let's
Yeah.
get that far at
Get to
least.
the hotel, open a book. Let's have some
And
fun.
it's empty.
Al.
It seems that the charcoal it was written in is no longer adhered to the paper, and it just sort of falls out like dust.
Son of a bitch.
That seems like
Gonna cast detect magic and check it out.
I mean, it would be either detect magic, it would be some form of like thieves' cant, maybe.
I will give it to you without having to roll at midnight. No matter what identify or detect magic or whatever it is you use to identify what's happening, you will figure out that the writing was done in such a way that it is it falls from the page if it's transported outside of the campus or
Oh,
within
shit.
that once it's gotten a certain distance from the library in which it was found, it's no longer cohesive. Whatever was written in it in that library seems to just flutter off the page.
Fuck.
But you do know what a Muriel said. She said that she thinks, after reading it, that she thinks maybe there's something hidden under the school.
That's enough for me. I'll be
Good
honest
enough.
with you.
Yeah.
We got an underschool.
And now we have to be
dungeon
mad all day while we wait.
I will say that I am starting to fade and I have work at 10 a.m.
Yeah.
And I have to do something with the DM before we log off for the night.
Okay.
Meet back with anything we want to do in this small downtime and then to the gallery next session.
Yeah. And the conclusion of this is probably going to go pretty quick.
Underschool dungeon raid.
All righty.
Thank you.
That was very interesting. That was very good. I like that.
I'm glad. I always worry that I've written too many words and y'all get bored with my blathering on.
No, the whole thing with the gallery was very well done.
Cool. All righty. So we are off next week and then Candlekeep, right?
Definitely off next week.
Yep. You get to continue your adventures in the Lycortha Expanse.
All righty.
Where
So we'll
everything
meet
is
back in
It's fun
Dybrook
again.
sometime in August.
Yes.
Oh boy.
Well, we are almost.
Yeah. You guys are you're getting into the end of Candlekeep here. Very close. Getting there.
All righty, everybody say bye-bye, YouTube.
Bye.
Bye.
YouTube.
Night, YouTube.